and gentlemen, and welcome to Fight for Our Freedom Radio. And I'm your host, BADBABY. And tonight we have with us Scott from the New Baru channel and Robert Evans, and we are going to be updating you on Planet X. Okay, everybody, I am having a problem with my board here, so bear with me because my screen is not allowing me to scroll down, and it's not allowing me to unmute you guys. So, hold on, give me a second here. Let me see if I can work with it. Oh, technical little problem here. Otherwise, I won't be able to get my guests unmuted. Let me see if I can just unblock everybody. Hold on here. This is to unmute all. Let's see. Sorry, you guys. I muted you all. Hold on. Now it's not letting me unmute y'all. Okay, I'll have to do it manually. I apologize, everyone. God, this is going to be a pain if I got to do this. Oh, and I can't get, it won't let me scroll down to unmute my guests. Just bear with me, I'm sorry. This is what happens when they don't want you out here to, let's see. Cancel. Allow chat. Okay, did that unmute everybody? Okay, just hang in there, you guys. I will get to you. I just gotta. I'm gonna have to do something here. Sorry about this. I should have kept you unmuted, Robert. Just give me 1 second here, you guys, and I'll get to you. It's just, this has happened to me before. They've done something to my screen where I can't get down to the bottom of the screen. So I have to go over to my display and make it smaller. Okay, I've got to log out and log back in, so just bear with me. I will be right back. This happens once in a while, so. And it usually happens when I have a high-profile show, so. Should be right back on in a second, you guys. I hope you're all still hearing me. If you're in the chat and you're muted, just hang in there. When I get back onto the screen, I will be able to unmute everybody. I'm really apologizing for what's going on. I kind of figured I would have a hard time tonight. And also, if you get knocked out of the room or you lose your sound, just refresh your window, because they do that. People will be writing me in the chat room saying, I can't hear. Just log out and log back in, and you will get your sound back. let me sign into the chat. I should be back. Okay, I'm back in. All right. Now I should be able to scroll, you guys. See, they'll do this to me so that I don't have control. So just hang in there. I'm unmuting y'all as fast as I can. I get down to the bottom here. I should find my guests. Okay. We're getting there. Okay, Robert.
Yay! Yes, I've been hearing you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, honey. I'm trying to find Scott. Hold on. Let me see if I can find him. Scott,
I'm not going anywhere.
8. I've got so many people coming in the window. I can't keep everybody unmuted. I can't keep up with unmuting everyone. Scott, if you're on the phone, would you push *8, please, to raise your hand? I don't see him. He was going to try to use his computer to call in, and I told him people have problems with that. If you're calling in through the computer, Scott, it is not working. So you're going to have to call in with your phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you start out, Robert. And tonight we are going to update with a lot of information. We're going to give out a lot of information of places that you can buy things that are really discounted and how to prepare. So why don't you go ahead and start out, Robert? You do sound like you're a little bit a ways.
No.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
Okay, great. I'll put it even closer to my mouth. Okay, how's that?
I think we got Scott now. Hold on. Is this you, Scott?
Hello.
All right. Okay. Are you using the computer, honey?
Yeah, I finally got it to work.
Okay. You're showing up as interchange or something like that, interchange carrier.
Yeah, how's the reception?
Well, it's okay, but you do sound like you're a little bit off in the distance. Can you, do you have a microphone that you can get closer to your mouth, or?
Yeah, I actually have it right near my mouth.
Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, who wants to start?
Scott goes first.
All right, why don't you start out, and we'll mute ourselves right now and give you a chance to start.
Okay, well, over the past several weeks, we've actually had more and more sightings, photographs coming in from all over the world. One of the mysteries that we still haven't solved is this mysterious blue planet. It's kind of like a light aqua blue planet that's been showing up all over the entire world. I did a video on it the other day, and the photographs and the videos that are being sent into my YouTube channel are absolutely incredible. We do have a few people out there that are trying to debunk the photographs and the videos by saying that they are photographic anomalies, lens flares, things of that nature, but it's just not possible. You can't have cloud cover over a lens flare. And literally tens of thousands of people all over the world in different countries at different times and different intervals, all seeing the same thing. So this small blue planet has been showing up for the last several weeks. And matter of fact, I was actually going to ask Robert if he had any, any input on this small blue planet.
Okay, hold on. I've got Robert muted. Okay, Robert,
yes.
Do you have any input on the small blue planet for us?
Yes. The blue planet has been seen in our skies. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. The small blue thing has been seen in our skies since 2:15. I've got the photographs going back showing it. The Hopi people call it the blue Kachina. That it would be seen in our skies just before the red Kachina will have its full effect. The blue Kachina to the Hopis carries the two star brothers, which will dance in an open square to everyone, not just the Hopis. And they will take off their masks and they'll show everyone who and what they are. That's very clear first contact. So yes, I know, Scott. I've been seeing these photographs since April of 2015. They're getting larger and larger in our skies because Nibiru and its 13 satellites orbit clockwise through our solar system. The Earth is orbiting counterclockwise right towards them. That's why they're growing larger and larger and larger in our skies.
Well, and it is affecting our planet. Are you guys aware that we had 3 6-point earthquakes today?
Oh, I just screwed up.
Yes, down there in Chile.
Yeah, we had 2 6.2s and a 6.4.
Well, I'm sorry, Scott, BADBABY. Each one of these satellites has gravitational, electromagnetic pull. Each one will be different from the other. All 8 of these things are in our skies. They're affecting the Earth's crust. That's why we have the high volcanic activity right now. We have the earthquake activity. There's a whole bunch of other things that are coming down the pipe. Okay? And it was all laid out very clearly by Don Smaltz in the WikiLeaks email. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, I think we lost Scott. I heard him say I just screwed up, and his voice sounded like it was suppressed or something. So he has logged out. He's probably trying to call back in. So I think we lost him a minute. So he'll be back with us. I don't know what he did. He might have been trying to turn his sound up or something. For everybody that's in the chat, if you're asking me a question and I don't get to it right away, just bear with me because I am busy unmuting people as they're coming into the window and guests are coming in left and right. So we are going to, for all the guests that are in the windows, towards the end of the show, if you would like to call in and push *8 and raise your hand. If you have any questions for our guests tonight, we are going to allow people to call in towards the end and raise your hand and ask questions. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that want to know different things. But why don't you get started, Robert, with, we're going to give out some information tonight of how to prepare, things that you should do to prepare for this.
I urge all of your listeners to do not panic. There will not be time for any panicking. All you can do is get prepared as fast as you can, and then you will have a fighting chance for survival. Get a nice backpack. Big Five, Target, whatever store you like to go to. Get a nice backpack with a frame. Something large enough we can put a lot of stuff in. Now, the average person will have a hard time carrying a backpack that weighs anywhere from 40 to 70 pounds. The U.S. military teaches their soldiers to go marching off into whatever with a 100 to 120 pound backpack. Okay, get water filter type things, emergency water filters. Get yourself a shortwave handheld radio. I have a Baofeng radio because when everything goes down, everyone will be switching on their shortwave radios. Get yourself a solar charger, solar-powered charger. Several on the market have a plug-in, a USB plug-in that goes into the charger, and you can buy different adapters which have almost every single plug, iPad plug all the way down. They'll plug right into the solar power charger USB port. If you have sun wherever you are, you'll have power charging. Here's another thing, very important. The human body needs salt. No ifs, ands, or buts. When you're sweating, your body's using the salt to allow your body to sweat. After a short period of time, like probably less than a day, you will die. No ifs, ands, or buts. You need salt. So I suggest that your listeners pick up several of those nice sea salt things on the market where you hand crank it. And here it is. McCormick sea salt grinder. Now I'm told that the average person needs a very small amount of this ground up salt in your palm of your hand, and you just lick it. Because if you're doing any heavy, strenuous work, you're sweating. Salt's getting out of your body that way. It allows your body to sweat. If you don't sweat, your body overheats and you're dead. No ifs, ands, or buts. Salt. All around the planet, you have to have salt. Everything you eat usually has a certain amount of sodium in it. Sodium is salt. The people over there in the Middle East, they used to get these huge blocks of salt, and they would lick it. Salt licks. Salt licks are put out on almost every farm for the cattle to lick because they need salt. The human body needs it. You'll die without it. Okay, so that's water filter, shortwave radio, salt, and whatever spices you want. Get that in that backpack as soon as possible. Okay, your solar power charger, so you can charge up your iPad, your computer, anything you're taking with you. All the telephones will be down. All the GPS modules will be down because all the satellites will be taken out. Heavy earthquakes, where you probably will not be able to drive unless you have a motorcycle or a good-sized car or truck with four-wheel drive. No ifs, ands, or buts. This thing has happened 3 times in human history. If any of your listeners have seen the movie 2012, near the end of the film, you see this Chinese monk up in his tower, He turns to his right, and here's the oceans coming over the mountains. Chinese Emperor Yao, believe it or not, 2900 BC, he saw something coming out of the constellation of Yin, possibly like Yin and Yang, the two people that are up in the stars. This caused the oceans to top the high mountains of China. It took them 13 years to drain the salt water from the high mountain valleys back down to the rivers and out to the oceans. Then the emperor had to send out 4 teams. And they were looking for...
let me ask you a question real quick, Robert. And I think Scott is back to join us again.
Okay.
Since there's going to be a lot of flooding or, water, do you think that, people should have...
a flotation device?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Some kind of flotation device?
Life preservers?
Now,
Yes.
they have life preservers that are, you pull a cord and they blow up by air. That would be the lightest
That'd
one
be
to
the
carry around,
fastest
don't
ones.
you think?
But those are most expensive, but yes, they're well worth it. They're self-inflating. That's where you pull the charge. There's a CO2 cartridge inside.
Yeah.
And inflate. Plus, there's a mouth device where you can separately keep trying to get blown higher and higher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I'll shut up and I'll let Scott talk if he's back.
Okay, hold on a second. Let's get Scott out here. Is this you, Scott?
Sorry about that, guys. I got kicked off there.
I told you that tonight is going to be a hectic night. Look what happened at the beginning of the show. And the thing is, last time Robert was on, he got towards the end of the show, he got knocked out of here 3 times. So if you get kicked off, just dial back in. For all the guests that are coming in, if you you can't hear for some reason, you lose your audio, log out and log back in. You'll get your audio back. And just so everybody knows that's calling in, towards the end of the show, we are going to allow people to call in. Push *8, raise your hand, and you will be able to ask Scott or Robert any questions. Before I let Scott go here for a minute, I do want to make a couple comments. There are sites right now that I've been going to that are marking things down dramatically. And as far as that solar charger goes, I know the Jim Baker show was selling one that you can carry in a backpack. And it has a solar panel that unfolds and hooks onto your backpack so that while you're walking, it'll charge. They were asking $500 for it. They did mark it down to $250. I don't know whether they still have them because they were going to discontinue it. But that is a great deal. And it also had a jumper cable set up on it where it would actually jump your car. So that's one place you want to go to check out some of their survival things. They also had survival canteens that had iodine tablets come with it, and these canteens you can actually use to take water right out of a mud puddle, and it will purify it. It's called an extreme canteen, and it will take radiation out, which we will be dealing with radiation from the meltdown of the nuclear power plants. So go and check out what they have. Another site you might want to go to is Emergency Essentials. They are marketing a lot of things down. They have the hand crank radio that Robert's talking about. Jim Baker also has the hand crank radio, and it is a solar radio also, and it also has a light on it. So there's many uses for that radio. Another site you might want to go to if you're going to stock up on emergency food, dehydrated food, is Augustin Farms. They have a lot of good deals on there. They only sell food, but Emergency Essentials has the backpack, it has the radio, they have all kinds of things. Go in there and check their site out. They run a lot of specials. They're marking a lot of things down. So those are 3 places you might want to go to. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to let Scott go take us over.
Well, before I got off, Robert we were touching on the blue Kachina, and that is right when I got cut off. So, Robert, if you don't mind rehashing what you said there on the blue Kachina, because these photographs that have been coming in to my channel on YouTube, they've also been coming into Steve Olson's channel on WSO on YouTube. Me and Steve had a pretty long talk this afternoon pertaining to this blue planet, because he has about 50,000 subscribers, and he's been inundated with these photographs of this small blue planet. And like I said, over the past couple of weeks, I've been inundated with these photographs. And, I analyze them the best that I can. And like I mentioned, we have this one group of debunkers, the Nibiru Planet X debunkers. Everything that you put up there, they basically come at you and say, we're amateur astronomers, mathematicians, blah, 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 and this is all fake. Well, buy that, because like I said in my first statement, we have tens of thousands of people across this globe that are photographing the same thing. So basically, you're telling all of us that we're liars. We're imagining these things. Everyone has a photographic anomaly, and I'm just not buying it, because a lot of these photographs that I have shown in my videos of this blue planet, some of them have cloud cover over, a part of the planet. They're clear as a bell. So, Robert, if you don't mind touching again on what you were saying, because I got cut off right when you were talking about the blue Kachina, and I was actually thinking in the same lines that you were, that this is probably, what the Hopi Indians saw, and this was definitely in my mind. But if you could just touch on that for a minute so I can catch up to you guys before I got cut off.
Sure. Okay, the Hopi people talk about the blue Kachina, Kachina, that when it arrives in our skies, it will have the 2 star brothers, and the star brothers will dance in the plaza, not only just to the Hopi or the other races that we call Native Americans, but to everyone, the whites, everyone. They will take off their mask, showing everyone who and what they are. That's a very clear indication of first contact. No ifs, ands, or buts. The planet Nibiru has 13 satellites. Call them what you want. Dwarf planets, planetoids, whatever. We have the outermost 8 of them in our skies right now. One of them is this blue one. Now, we started seeing these things in the skies starting April 15th, 2015. They were being seen mostly over Europe, over the Middle East. I have photographs going back to that time of each one of these things. Okay? So there is a bluish-looking planet up there in our skies. There's also a greenish-looking planet up in our skies. There's also a very reddish-looking one in our skies. The red one has been causing all the problems to human history. Only the Hopi mentioned the blue one. The red one is something else completely. The ancient Egyptians knew it as the destroyer, a huge reddish object in our skies. The Hopis talk about the blue kachina. The Holy Bible describes wormwood as a huge reddish object. So I'll hand it back to you, Scott.
Yeah, I've been seeing the photographs also of this red planet. I got a few photographs the other day. One of our subscribers, she has a pretty powerful 35 millimeter camera. She's using regular 35 millimeter film, and it's not a digital camera. And she's an avid photographer, and she's from Germany, and she's been photographing this planet for quite some time. The photographs that she sent me the other day, they've been the clearest photographs that I've seen to date. And they were in one of my videos yesterday, and seems that it's getting closer and closer. And, we've had a lot of these individuals that say, well, if there was a planet so close to Earth in our solar system, we would be having all sorts of problems here on Earth.
Except for one big reason. We do not know how close they are to the Earth right now. Only the powers that be know that.
Exactly.
So these are probably good-sized planets, and we're seeing them from a distance, but we're seeing them very clearly from the ground. Now, as you mentioned, people on the ground are seeing them. People using telescopes are seeing them. People have been watching all of the observatories around the planet because they have nice videos and photographs all the time, and they're clearly seeing them from the observatories. So yes, we do not know how big these things are. We do not know how close they are or how close they will come. That's the big problem. But I can tell you this very clearly. The world's governments are all prepared for what's coming.
And they're really amping up the preparations, because I've seen quite a few videos where people are seeing convoys of trucks of Walmart and Kroger's and CVS Pharmacy and several trucks in a row. And someone videoed them going down, I think it was Interstate 75, and they followed them, and guess where they went? They went to one of the underground tunnels. So they're stocking those dumbs heavy right now, and they wouldn't be doing that if time's getting short. But one of the questions that I'm reading here in the chat is, when is this supposed to happen? None of us know when it's supposed to happen, but I really do like what David Meade has to say about it, because he lines it up with the constellation of the stars, and that's why I'm having him on next week, so that he can give us a timeline, because I really do think he does have a jump on the timeline of it. What do you think, Pat?
I've heard a few timelines. Dave Dobbs has been he's been producing a small model, a little computer model, and he's been documenting these flyby sightings. He's been actually doing a pretty good job at it. How much credibility there is to it, I guess we're never going to really know until the day of reckoning, But this one flyby, this young lady, I think she was in the Midwest. Her first name was Becky Lewis. She caught this absolutely phenomenal video. I think it was December 2015, if I'm not mistaken. And from that point on, Dave started to produce these, he started documenting these flybys, and he was trying to produce this model and a timeline. And I think it was on about 180 days or something of that nature that we would be seeing these flybys, give or take a week or so. And Dave has done some extensive work on this. I mean, he's dedicated all of his time and his life, like we all have, into trying to find the information so we can deliver our message to everyone else. And the last flyby that he had documented was right around the middle of October. And as far as this flyby being Nibiru, I can't put a positive ID on it.
Everything that all of my contacts are saying, they're all saying basically from now until April or May of next year.
Yeah, that's the same information that I've been getting. March, April, and possibly into May of 2017 is when things are going to get, they're going to get very true. I've heard some researchers, that have been in depth into this subject for quite a while, and they have some contacts that are giving them some credible information, and it's definitely looking like this upcoming spring. And based on what's happening to the Earth right now, I just cannot overlook all of the earthquakes that we've had this year already. I think we've toppled over 40,000 earthquakes. And that's what I was mentioning, that if there was something out there that was near the Earth that had a strong magnetic force that was tugging our tectonic plates, tugging on the Earth, yes.
Breaking up on us, Scott.
What's that?
Your phone is breaking up. We're getting half of what you're saying.
Oh, boy. I have a full signal.
Okay, that's better. Whatever you did, that's better.
Yeah, so basically, this earthquake situation that we've been undergoing this entire year, I mean, we've toppled over 40,000 earthquakes this year. And then, just the recent earthquakes in Italy have been absolutely devastating. So they say if there was a planet out there, or several planets, then we would be having some very severe issues on Earth. Well, the fact of the matter is, we are. 40,000 earthquakes in the course of a year is a lot. And now the frequency and the magnitude of these earthquakes are increasing. And I had a gentleman that's been sending me some information from Bulgaria. He's actually become a friend of mine. And he's kind of a political dissident of the country. And he has a lot of information. And he sent me a short video of, I think it was Italian rescuers in a helicopter. And they were literally flying across the, I think it's the Apennino mountain elevations, not too far from where the earthquakes just occurred. And there is a horizontal crack all the way across the top of the mountain range. And I mean, it is huge. So the force of these earthquakes, if they have the force to crack a mountain range from one end to the other, at the very top, All it's going to take is one more devastating earthquake in that region, and that whole mountain range, the whole top of it, is going to come down. It's literally going to come down. And I've never seen this happen in my lifetime. Yeah, we've had some devastating earthquakes from time to time, but to see an entire mountain range cracked from one end to the other horizontally, absolutely incredible. And, you know, he got that video footage to me, but do we see it here in the United States? Absolutely not. They don't televise these types of things. But this, I do believe that this did make it to Italian television, and the earthquakes have been devastating there over the past week.
Okay, we've got, I don't have time to type in the chat, people. Could somebody type into the chat for me that if people are saying they're losing their audio, could you please type into the chat if you can't hear us to log out and log back in and you will regain your audio? Somebody please type that in for me. They're really screwing with this window tonight, let me tell you.
Okay. Earthquakes from the movie 2012, which leaked way too much information. The beginning earthquake started at 10.6, and then they got larger and larger and larger. The movie 2012 told about Earth crust displacement because of the magnetic and electromagnetic pull from either one or all 8 of these satellites that are being seen in our skies right now, that the Earth's crust would shift over the mantle towards them. In the movie 2012, the crust only shifted 23 degrees, which would put Wisconsin up near what's normally the North Pole, but it was actually the South Pole because the magnetic shift also happened. In the WikiLeaks email from Don Smaltz to a whole bunch of people, he said the Earth's crust will shift 90 degrees. The WikiLeaks email, I have a copy of it. I've read it over and over again. It puts the movie 2012 to shame. It goes into greater detail than I ever thought they would ever release. Now, I know the powers that be, they have an idea of exactly what's going to happen. That's why they built all the deep underground military bases, the DUMS, and the emergency seed vaults. The seed vaults have one seed or one type, everything that's grown on the planet. 60 Minutes years ago did the Doomsday Seed Vault. They did that because they came across a very interesting list of people. The people who paid for the Small Vard Seed Vault up in Norway. It was a long list of the world's billionaires. I wonder if someone's name was on that list. If any of your listeners can come up with that list. I know the internet pulled down that list years ago, because I used to have a copy of it. So here's this person named Don Smaltz sending an email to John Podesta. Now, this Donald Smaltz must be highly ranking because he knew Hillary Rodham Clinton's email. Not everyone knows that, but Don Smaltz did. Now, WikiLeaks has been following whomever, Don Smaltz, John Podesta, Hillary Rodham Clinton, and a whole bunch of other people. This email came out in 2004, 0907, at 1806 time. It goes into great detail. Now, I can tear apart the movie. I can tell you what's going to be happening. When the Earth's crust starts to shift, everything is going to be down. Roads, bridges. You'll be lucky if you can hoof it from one spot to another. Yeah, I heard the whistle. I heard you. You'll be lucky if you can get from one place to the other with a backpack. That's how bad it will be. And that's how bad.
I said we're also going to have to deal with the nuclear meltdown with the nuclear plant. So one of the things that we need everybody to get are iodine pills.
Yes, iodine pills. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, medical supplies, bandages, all kinds of good stuff. I would go back to the liquid iodine, which is still available on the market, because you're going to have.
I've been trying to find that. Where do you find that? I did find a small bottle that someone was selling at a yard sale that they said they bought when they got it from their grandmother's medicine cabinet. But you can't go into a CVS or Walmart they don't carry it, liquid iodine.
You have to buy it online only. It's not carried by any of the current places.
Now, I know Emergency Essentials does sell the iodine tablets. They're a 2-week packet. When they first started selling them, they were $20 for the packet. Now they're $11. They've marked down.
You cannot use that on your cuts or abrasions.
No, I'm talking about you've got to have iodine in your body to protect your thyroid from the nuclear meltdown.
That's right. Okay? All 3 accounts say the same thing. From China, Egypt, all 3 accounts say that rocks and stuff will be falling from the skies for over a week. They'll be smashing all the houses around the planet. Everyone will be on their own, living off the land. So you better have all kinds of emergency stuff, bandages, iodine, liquid iodine for putting on cuts and scrapes. Because if you get any type of infection with no doctor, no hospital to go to, sorry.
Another thing that people are saying is if you take medication, you could stock up on it. Well, when you're getting a prescription, they're not going to allow you to get 8 months' worth of a prescription unless the doctor, you can tell him. One of the things you can do for that, and this is what my ex-in-laws used to do, is they would go to their doctor and tell them they're going to the Keys for 6 months. And so he would write them a 6-month prescription. So you might be able to say, go tell the doctor, well, I'm going on vacation out of the state. Could you, give me a prescription for 6 months? I don't know whether they'll fill 6 months' worth, but, for things like blood pressure, if you go to Botanic Choice, they have a blood pressure complex pill there. I did have a person that came on one of my shows that he was on blood pressure medicine. I got him off of his blood pressure medicine, and he was taking the blood pressure complex pill. So you might go to the Botanic Choice and stock up on that. Antibiotics.
The Native Americans survived very well indeed before the white man came over here. And now the Hopi term for the white man is Pohana. Okay? The Native Americans used all the native plants for all of their illnesses.
Right.
Everything you mentioned, a plant takes care of it too.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm saying go over to botanicchoice.com, and, you know, like for antibiotics, there's natural antibiotics. You can take garlic gel caps or oregano gel caps. Those are natural antibiotics. So, you know, if you want to find out some of the things that you need, go over there. They're really cheap, botanicchoice.com, and, you know, stock up on some of those things too, because you're not going to be walking into the drugstore.
Yes. You know, the problem is here, and I'll say it again, once everything starts to hit the sheet, you're not going to be able to go into any store because they're all going to be looted left and right for everything that will help them survive. So,
now, do you have any, because I got a couple of quick survival tips. I watched a lot of survival videos, and, you know, like people that are going to have canned goods with them, and supposedly you lose your can opener or you don't have any way to open a can. I don't know if a lot of people knew this or not, but you can take a can, turn it upside down, rub it on cement, and it will open. You can take your knife and just dig in there and flip it right open. If you rub it back and forth across the cement, it will break the seal. So there's things like that you need to, you know, possibly go over into YouTube and start watching some survival videos.
the best thing I would suggest, get to know the veterans, whether they're retired or whether they're still enlisted. Get to know them because they know how, with their military survival techniques, they were trained. They went out on what I think was used to be called bivouacs, where they had to live off the land out in the field for a week or two. They have the training. Get to know the veterans around you, the officers, the old enlisted personnel, because one thing is, when things start to happen, you're going to want to need their training, and hopefully they will help train you. Get to know your Native Americans. The Native Americans live off the land on a daily basis, 24/7. The white man doesn't live off the land anymore, although a lot of us still do up in the Adirondacks and other areas. They know how to hunt. They know how to make snares. You don't. They'll show you how to skin rabbits, how to skin squirrels. When there's no Safeway or Kroger's, you're going to be living off the land. No ifs, ands, or buts. That squirrel you saw yesterday was a real pretty squirrel. That makes a nice meal. When you have a meal in your tummy, you're going to sleep better that night. You don't have a meal in your tummy, you're going to be cold.
Okay, guys,
We're being hacked.
Hold on, I'm going to have to block everybody.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable. It's not allowing. Okay. Okay, I don't know if y'all can hear me, but somebody has taken my screen and moved it over so that I can't unmute you. So I am going to have to probably log out and log back in. Hold on, let me see if I can get it to scroll over. I apologize. Had to mute everybody. Sorry about that. Oh, God. I noticed that trolls were coming into the window. So I'm going to have to log out and log back in. So while I'm doing this, you guys, I know you can still hear me. I'm going to just keep talking so that there's no dead air here. Just be patient. Give me a few minutes. I knew this was going to happen. I mean, we were having problems right from the beginning. But like what I was saying about the Botanic Choice, just go to botanicchoice.com, and and they send you a book when you order, and in the book it tells you what exactly everything is for. So say you have a blood pressure problem, there's a couple pages in there, it says blood pressure. So, just go and look on there and see what you can get to order. There's all different things, hold on. There's all different things in the book. Like if you have a high cholesterol problem, they have a page for that. And also essential oils, too. Those are good for healing. So, check that out. The other site, like I said, is emergencyessentials.com. They have the radio, the crank radio that Robert was talking about. They also have the iodine tablets. Bear with me here. I'm trying to talk and do stuff at the same time. God, they won't even let me log back in. Hold on. I don't know what that was all about, but we'll get it back on track. Just bear with us, and I'll get you all unmuted again. And they wouldn't be doing this to us if we weren't, telling stuff that they don't want out there. Let's see if I'm still logged in here. I know I want to let you all know that next week I will be having David Mead in. I don't know if you all know about David Mead. I love his book because he aligns the planets up with the constellation of the stars, and he comes up with a timeline. So you want to join me then. It'll be a great show. See if I can get back into the window. Oh, it's blocking me again. Let's try it again. All right, I'm back. All right, let me see if I can get the chat opened up. God, talk about a pain. Yep, everybody's blocked. Okay, let's start with just unmuting you this way. Because the last time I hit the unmute all, and it's going to take a minute, that's when we got the troll in here. So let's just give me a minute. Let me go down and get Scott and Robert unmuted. Are you with me, Robert?
Yay!
I'm here.
How about you, Scott?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Sorry about that. Somebody was doing something to us, weren't they?
Sure they were.
I actually noticed one of my nemesis debunkers are in the chat by the YouTube channel name Astronomy Live. I call them Astrology Live.
Well, see, and I muted him because he was on the phone and he was unmuted.
Yeah.
And I muted him, and after I muted him, that's when we had the. So I just hit the mute everybody. Sorry, you guys had to mute you all, but I think you're all unmuted now.
Yeah, let me give you a little background on these individuals, because I had a long telephone conversation with Marshall Masters about 2 weeks ago, and about a month ago, I had these debunker individuals come after me pertaining to a video that I had uploaded, and it showed a planet orbiting the sun in, I think it was about less than 24 hours. It was, less than 24 hours. And this Soho video footage was sent to me by a lady who was keeping in contact with me and sending me information by email for about a month. And she sent me this video, and she said, you know, you're going to want to sit down whenever you watch this video. So I watched it, and I was very intrigued by it. So I decided to put it into a video, and I did just that. And no sooner than the video went up, I think it was a few hours later, I was contacted by this Planet X debunker, as he calls himself, Dave Daza the Cameraman, has a YouTube channel. He caused all kinds of problems for Marshall Masters, anyone who does anything pertaining to Planet X, the, Nemesis, the Nibiru. He goes in and he debunks the video with all of this technical talk. And he has a few henchmen also on YouTube. And Dave Gregg is his name. He is located in New Zealand, and he has quite a history. So I dug into his past and found that he's basically a government troll. That's exactly what he is. And through some other investigating, I found out that he's basically paid to debunk these videos, to create disinformation and doubt, and he's on the payroll of a Luciferian group out of Switzerland. And that's a fact. And the troll that you had there in your chat, his name's Scott Ferguson. He is an amateur, so-called amateur astronomer, and he has a YouTube channel called Astronomy Live. And the video that I put up of this planet orbiting the sun in such a very, very quick orbit, very large planet, they told me that it was the moon, our moon, to planet Earth, orbiting the sun all by itself. And this Daza, the cameraman, Luciferian troll, was very, nice with me, and he told me a story about a young 12-year-old girl that had committed suicide back in 2012 because she just couldn't handle the storyline of 2012 and the demise of the world. So he basically was trying to put me on a guilt trip and told me that I should take the video down and that he would prove to me that planet was our moon, orbiting the sun all by itself. Now, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a professional astronomer. But I dug into the background of this video footage from Soho, or I think it was like a Core 2 image. And, I started putting some numbers together myself. And nothing that they said made any sense. So, Robert, you've been doing this for quite a long time. You're an intelligent man. Have you ever heard of our moon orbiting the sun all by itself?
Nope.
Exactly. So ever since I posted that video and that very rare footage that no one's ever really seen, they have been all over me like cancer, like leeches, and literally taking every single one of my videos and debunking it and making their own videos and just wreaking havoc on my YouTube channel.
It's called mass disinformation.
Exactly. And I've dug into these people, and old Daza the cameraman, well, he takes donations by PayPal on his YouTube channel. Well, I go and I dig a little bit more, and I find that the government uses PayPal through other handlers to pay their disinformationalists. So he's not squeaky clean at all. He's a very nasty individual.
A lot of my friends that were down in South America, they were all complaining that their governments were trying to get NASA to tell them the information. But the United States and Canada are under a mass disinformation program, keeping all this stuff off the news media until the last minute.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you won't find any astronomer, professional, definitely no professional astronomer. You won't find any observatory that is going to allow access, to the observatory. They won't help you because I was given some information. Basically, they're not going to get any more federal grants from the government. So they were told, this is the deal. You keep your mouth shut or you will not receive any more money for your research, for your observatory. And I guess they were placed under these, federal non-disclosure agreements, probably threatened also. And the same applies for the news media. Nothing that you could watch on CNN, I don't believe at all.
No. The observatories around the planet are under the control of the Jesuits and the Vatican. That has been set in place a long time ago. That's why all this stuff has been under a very tight control, just as was shown in the movie 2012. When that one character from Cheers, he became a congressman. He's sitting there, he's pulling down one screen after the other of all these people that are dead. There's a long list of astronomers who mysteriously died or disappeared.
Yeah, I just recently did a video about
yes.
these astronomers. I think we're up to 125 to date.
Yes. Now, in the movie 2012, the guy from the Louvre was mysteriously killed. That part was taken from the death of Robert S. Harrington, Naval Institute. You see, after the NASA people went off the records and spoke about this thing that was seen well out beyond Pluto with the brand new infrared satellite, 4 to 8 times the size of the planet Earth. And these people off the wall, when they received the information, didn't wait for the NASA officials. And they called press conferences. And they talked about this thing being seen by the IRIS satellite, a brand new infrared satellite, in the right position, looking in the right direction. A huge heat signature. So they jumped off the wall. They did news conferences to a lot of major papers and stuff. Then when the NASA officials got back online, they pulled all the stories. But in official scientific reviews, they were still showing that they were looking for something out beyond Pluto. Because the official reviews showed these other 2 spacecraft were heading out there. They weren't the Voyagers, they were the earlier ones. And at a certain point, one spacecraft went above the ecliptic looking for something. The other one went below the ecliptic looking for something. They were looking for Nemesis. And they found it. I've got the photograph showing it with 6 of its planets. Nemesis orbits around our solar system. According to a video on YouTube called Nemesis, our sun's evil twin, it talks about it. It goes around once every...
That's a good video. Real good video.
Yes, it is. It goes around once every 26 million years. Now, a friend of mine has been sharing videos, pictures from I think an Egyptian type person. And there's been a huge glare on the horizon. A humongous glare on the horizon in his photographs. Our sun doesn't do this. He's been telling me for a long time, Bob, you're not listening to me. That's Nemesis. And I think he's correct. I hate to admit it. That we're seeing the glow from this brown dwarf star. See, in that video, Nemesis, the sun's evil twin, the main scientist says that he has found enough data to link Nemesis to mass extinctions all around the planet every 26 million years. Now, where are we in that time scale now? I don't know. I tried emailing this guy, and he thought I was bullshitting. He said I wasn't looking at the right thing.
Well, when I interviewed John Moore, he said we're overdue from the 3,600 years.
Well, the 3,600 years is right about right now.
Right. And when I interviewed him last year, according to his contacts from the military insiders that he knows, we are, I think he said, in between 100 years being over. So we are overdue.
Okay. An ancient Chinese account, China, Mozi, M-O-Z-I, in his book 5, which is up on the internet from China, has English translations. He says that certain things happened right around 1600 BC. And everything that's mentioned in that account is identical to what happened over Egypt during the Exodus. And the Exodus has been firmly dated now to 1613 BC. Ippawar, an ancient Egyptian scribe, in his entire detailed account of the Exodus of the Hebrews out of Egypt, clearly mentions volcanic ash was falling over Egypt during this Exodus. The only volcano erupting during that time was the ancient Greek island of Thera. We now call it Santorini. It erupted for how many days, and then the volcano blew itself apart, blowing the island apart. We're seeing huge amounts of volcanic activity all around the planet. In the WikiLeaks email, very clearly in there, there'll be huge amounts of volcanic activity, volcanoes exploding, doing this, doing that. All three accounts, volcanoes erupted. I'm sorry, the ancient records are still in existence. From China to Egypt to the Hopis. The Hopis said very clearly the Hopi third world ended by water. That was Noah's flood, 12,900 plus minus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Another name Noah went by was Sayasudra. In Zechariah Sitchin's book, The Lost Book of Enki, after the ark landed on the two mountains of Ararat, Enlil, which was his brother, which was in charge of the planet, their half-sister, which I've never been able to pronounce her name correctly, and Enki went down to survey the damage to the earth. Enlil saw the ark and saw humans with a huge bonfire praising the gods. All the humans were supposed to have been wiped out with the Aegis. But there was humans. Enlil was enraged. Enki, now this is Zechariah Sitchin's account. Enki told very clearly, I could not let my son die. Sayasudra was one of Enki's sons. He makes it very clear, I could not let my son die. I had to warn him. Their half-sister calmed down Enlil and made a promise, a very severe promise, that humans would not die by water again. It's in the Lost Book of Enki. Either Zechariah Sitchin was lying through his teeth, which I've never seen any account that he was a bold-faced liar. He misinterpreted things, yes, but they never said he was a bold-faced liar.
You know, Robert, I want to touch on something since you brought up Zechariah Sitchin and also Carlos Ferrata and also Dr. Robert Harrington. And if you could see in the chat that's going on right now, you see this government-paid troll, Astrology Live, Scott Ferguson, trying to infiltrate the chat because that's what they're paid to do. And he's getting burned in the chat room on this radio show right now. And they will do anything that they possibly can to create this disruption, to basically create all of the disinformation. And I've had a few conversations with this individual, because I won't even call him a man, because he's nothing but a little boy. But he put down Zecharia Sitchin, Carlos Ferrara, and Dr. Robert Harrington, basically calling them, all three of them, a fraud. So Dr. Robert Harrington didn't know what he was talking about. Carlos Ferrara, very intelligent man, very accomplished individual, was basically a fraud. And so was Zecharia Sitchin. Now, I find all three of these men very highly intelligent and major accomplishments within their careers. Robert Harrington paid for it with his life.
Yes.
And this individual, Scott Ferguson from Astronomy Live, is going to sit there and tell people that these three men and their accomplishments were nothing but a fraud.
Okay, let me try to explain what I found during my research. President Eisenhower personally invited the Bishop of Los Angeles, Francis McIntyre, to be his spiritual advisor at a secret meeting at what was then called Muroc Airfield back in 1954. They met with three alien races: the Greys, a reptilian-looking race, and an interdimensional race called the Etherians. Besides everything else they tried, at the end, the races offered their help and support with what was coming up real soon. Eisenhower turned them down. But Eisenhower met with what was then called the Nordics in 1955 over at Holloman Air Force Base. They were the Anunnaki. So Eisenhower was told for almost an hour exactly what was going to happen. Then we went on a huge building type thing. The Jesuits were put in charge of all the contacts and also became part of the Vatican Secret Service. They were put in charge of all the observatories around the planet. That's why the Jesuits built the huge observatory up in the San Francisco mountains in Arizona. Am I still on the air here?
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right. So we had one thing after another after another. The mid-1990s, according to a high-ranking Jesuit priest that went out from the Vatican and talked to Christopher Barbato, said that in the mid-1990s there was a joint Israeli, Vatican, U.S. project which built an advanced space probe from Area 51, which was launched by the Aurora space plane. It went from the Earth well out beyond Pluto and met up with the planet Nibiru as it was incoming. It videotaped it, did whatever else. I was told it came back to the Earth in less than 1 month using a very advanced propulsion system. It downloaded everything to a secret Jesuit base up on a HARP facility up in Alaska. Christopher Barbato, and this was sometime in the mid-1995, Christopher Barbato continued talking to this Jesuit on and off, and He knew exactly who the Jesuit was. It's never been released. He suddenly starts talking to his friend Luca Scantamburlo, another Italian reporter. Luca Scantamburlo did a nice 2-hour video with Project Camelot and talks about the whole 9 yards. Exactly what he was told, because Christopher Barbato didn't tell Luca Scantamburlo everything, and Luca knew this. He only told him what he wanted him to know, because the Vatican was getting worried that all the countries around the planet were not warning their people about what was coming up. Pope John Paul II, 1980. He warned very clearly about what was coming up. And he was almost killed for it in 1981. The Vatican downplayed everything he talked about 3 days later. But this is very important. Pope John Paul II never gave this warning ever again while he lived. He said, what if it was in writing? The world's oceans would cover all the continents, killing millions within minutes. Why talk about it? That's the exact warning that the 3 alien races gave to Bishop Francis McIntyre and President Eisenhower in 1954.
Okay, Robert, we're at 11:30 right now, and I do want to give the audience a chance to participate. So I'm going to tell everybody that would like to ask a question. If you want to call in, 1-724-444-7444, then enter 43503 pound, and then £1 if you're not a member. You will join us on the phone. You will be muted when you get into the window. If you wish to ask a question, push *8. It will raise your hand. For those that are on the phone, if you wish to ask a question, push *8, and I will unmute you as we go along, and we will allow you to ask Robert or Scott a question tonight. So I just want to get that in so that others can call in, or those that are on the phone if you wish to ask a question, because we are going to start allowing audience participation. And I don't know, Scott, you don't want me to unmute your buddy up there, do you?
Oh, you could unmute that fool, because I've gone head to head with him many of times.
Because he absolutely has his hand raised.
Yeah, I mean, all he does is he speaks in all of these high mathematical terms and spreadsheets and things that the normal individual just cannot understand. So how are you supposed to believe an individual who's speaking in these huge, well, he uses the terminology word salad. He coined.
Okay, what about Skywatcher, Scott?
Yeah, he's one of my followers. Yeah.
Okay, well, Skywatcher has his hand raised. We'll let him ask first, and we will get to you up there on the top there, buddy, but I just want to forewarn you that if we get into a big screaming match or a big argument, I'm just going to mute you back. So anyways, we'll unmute Skywatcher. And welcome to the show, Skywatcher, and you have a question for one of our guests?
Yeah, actually, I didn't have a question, but I did have something that I would like to add, if I could.
Yeah, sure.
I've been trying to pay attention and catch a good view of this sucker. I'm not sure if I caught Nemesis or Nibiru, but I actually have a picture of standing out in my front yard and seeing almost a rainbow-looking cloud. Right between the rainbow effect in the cloud and where the sun visibly was, I do have a picture that I'm going to be sharing with Scott that I believe I've caught Nibiru or Nemesis. Very beautiful picture. When I saw it, it looked like it looked like Jupiter, but it looked like a fiery Jupiter. It had kind of the same lines, but it was real ominous red, had a red hue kind of around it. And as soon as I grabbed my camera, the chemtrails moved back in front of it, but I can clearly see that there's a planet or something there, even with the chemtrails in front of it.
Yeah, I believe what we are possibly seeing. I don't believe that we would be seeing the actual brown dwarf star nemesis. I believe that's kind of below our ecliptical plane right now. I don't think it would be visible to us from the information that I've been given. However, Nibiru being the outermost planet, and possibly some of its moons, we don't really know what this system has brought back into our solar system. Remember, it takes a very long journey. These planets are very powerful. They're more powerful than the Earth as far as their energy, their magnetic energy. So Lord only knows what they've brought back in to this solar system. And as far as the chemtrailing goes and the sun, now myself and Steve Olson and Jeff P., over the entire summer, we tried to uncover this solar simulator or sun simulator. And over the period of the summer and finally going into the fall, we had a major break. Because there's no doubt that there is something between us and the sun. There is so much evidence. We've uncovered it, and we're still uncovering bits and pieces of this information. So they're using devices in space between us and the sun to prevent us from seeing these planets. That's a fact. I don't care what any amateur astronomer or professional astronomer or government agent tells me. The bottom line is the sun is not square. The sun is not shaped like a diamond. It is not shaped like a headlight on a car. The sun does not produce blue rays unless those rays of sun are shining through a glass prism. This is basic 9th grade Earth space science. We know that the brown dwarf star nemesis is having a very adverse effect on our sun. And these debunkers want us to think that this is just all natural. Well, it's not. And like I tell people on my YouTube channel, if you continue to listen to these Luciferian scum, in the end, they're going to cause you not to be prepared, not to educate yourself, and in the end, they're going to get you killed. Yes, you do have a chance to live. It's going to be a very hectic and chaotic scene. But these people have an agenda. It's their new world order. Let the elite take over. And listen, I'm going to tell everybody that's listening to this show right now, this is not going to happen on my watch. I'm going to go down fighting with 2 fists of fury no matter what they try to do to me, because they try to shut me up. They've tried to shut Robert up. They've tried to shut the host of this radio show up. But you know what? It's not going to happen. Because mankind, the people that live on this earth, deserve the chance. We deserve the right to know what is happening.
Amen.
That's the bottom line. That is what fires me up each and every day. I don't know every single one of my subscribers by name on a personal level, but I can tell you this much. Each and every one of these people have touched me by their emails. If they don't hear from me because of one video not going up one day, they send me emails, hundreds of emails. Scott, where are you? Are you okay? Man, that is a brother and sisterhood, and that is what this world needs today. We need to join together. We need to be prepared. And what is wrong with being prepared? This whole threat of World War III, it's garbage.
It sure is.
Yes, what do we have to worry about Russia? I think Russia would pulverize the United States at our point in time right now. The Russians have nothing to do with us. Nothing.
Interesting enough, they're telling their people.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Skywatcher, thank you. Do you have anything else? And I want to mute you back, but if you do have anything else you'd like to say, just *8 again, because I'm getting quite a few requests for me to unmute your buddy up here.
Now, Scott is very well correct in what he just said. One of my friends, Dawn Hull, on Facebook, she's been getting fantastic photographs saying the exact same thing that Scott just mentioned.
Yeah.
Scott did not
Dawn
mention.
gets harassed too, Robert.
Yeah. Okay.
She
Well,
gets followed around by the men in black. I have had Dawn on this show.
Okay. Well, hold on a minute. For the last 10 years, SOHO, NASA, has been picking up these humongous Earth-sized space probes, which are all around our sun. They're probably doing several different things. I know they're doing one thing, and they're doing it very well. Our solar system is electric, okay? It's on a certain voltage, amperage. It's put out by our sun to each one of the planets and out to each one of the planets' moons. So we have an electrical solar system. You put anything else into our solar system, Nibiru, the comet Elenin, whatever, it's on a different voltage amperage type set. Our sun has been interacting with Nibiru for months.
Oh, absolutely.
People have been seeing huge sparks coming off our sun, and they're standing on the Earth's surface, and they're seeing these huge sparks come in. Kingman, Arizona, the observatory, months ago, they always had a camera looking up at the sun on top of the observatory until this one day, this one video leaked out. Here's two guys on the top of the observatory. One guy has his hand over the camera, and he's talking. Can you still see it? Can you still see it? He takes his hand off, and it's looking at the sun. Here's those huge sparks. He's seeing them right on the surface of the Earth coming from the sun. That's our sun interacting with Nibiru. There's been several videos showing this over the months. People have caught it with their cameras. People have seen it with their regular eyes. Our sun was supposed to have had a huge solar storm in 2012. Everyone was talking about it. That Michio Kaku said, it's all going to have all kinds of problems. Never happened like they said it was going to, because these alien space probes are controlling our sun's activity. Now, just like Scott said, a lot of people with nice cameras are seeing something that shouldn't be up there in the sky. Dawn has caught it many times. Scott said his friends have caught it. Yes, it's real. I have no idea what it is. I was told over a year ago that the aliens want the advanced humans to survive this account. The last time it came through was during the Egyptian time, when the Egyptians were the strongest race on the planet. It virtually almost wiped them out. Okay? You hardly ever hear about that. Yes, there was an exodus. There was an exodus of the Hyksos, Hyksos, out of Egypt at the end of the 17th Egyptian dynasty. I have pictures from a 12th Egyptian tomb showing what the Hyksos looked like. Okay? They were kicked out of Egypt, and they were pushed out of Egypt up towards present-day Jerusalem by the Egyptian forces. Two brothers led the forces from southern Egypt. The Hyksos were in control of the Nile Delta. They helped kick them out. One of these Egyptian leaders became pharaoh right around 1550. His name was Akhmos. His brother was named Kamos. Now, several different shows have told a lot of people what that name means. It means roughly, in Hebrew, brother of Moses. Okay? So, hey, there it is. It's right there. The Holy Bible talks about Moses, talks about all this stuff. Ipor mentions the Hebrews were kicked out of Egypt. Kebrews. The Hyksos were a Canaanite people. They were the Israelis. The Israelis changed their name from the Hyksos to the Hebrews and Israel. Several other researchers are saying the same thing. Got nothing against any religion, any people at all. But they knew what happened because the Hebrews were telling the Egyptian priests about stuff even the Egyptian priests didn't know about. So they knew it was coming through. Akhmos started the 18th Egyptian dynasty. Akhenaten was in the Egyptian dynasty. Akhenaten and his wife were shown on numerous wall carvings that they were praying towards a huge round thing in the skies. That was Nibiru. Because Nibiru and its planets had just passed through Egypt during the time of Akhmos. No ifs, ands, or buts. Ancient Egyptian history clearly defines it.
Yeah, let me just add something real quick to all of the ancient history. As the debunkers would say, they're all liars. Going back through the first Chinese dynasty, 4,000 years ago, and then all of the documented history through ancient man, they're all liars.
Yes.
They're all liars. They didn't see anything.
I guess Velikovsky was also a huge liar.
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
Zacharias Sitchin was a huge liar. I guess these two other authors from England had two books where they talk about something coming in very close to the Earth, causing the Earth crust displacement. They were liars. I guess this email from this Don Smalter to John Podesta telling in great detail. You have a copy of this thing just as I do, Scott.
Yeah,
I tried. It goes. Yeah.
They kept blocking my email to you.
And thankfully, someone else on Facebook posted the entire thing, and I immediately downloaded it, and I was reading it and left him. This person, this Don Smolter, I have no idea whomever he is, what connection he had or still has. He had Hillary's personal email. And it was sent to that email. It was sent to John Podesta's email. It goes into great detail about systems being down, problems with electricity, gasoline, natural gas, the Earth's crust shifting 90 degrees. And he's saying it's just going to be one heck of a reset button. I'm not going to use any other type of words tonight. I'm sorry. Edgar Casey. Edgar Casey, before he died in 1945, made it very clear in several of his maps what the United States was going to look like after a future pole shift. Those maps and all that data was used in the movie 2012. When the guys got on the airplane, were flying out of Southern California, and they were racing up the coast. Anyone who's seen the movie, here's the Earth's crust cracking up right there along the San Andreas fault line, pushing up into the air and slipping down into the water. He actually had several other maps made up showing what the entire planet was going to look like. A lot of areas were pushed out.
I really don't want to interrupt you, honey, but we do have guests that have their hand raised.
Yeah,
Can we shut up?
Can we let Astrology Live get on here with me and Robert?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I promised him I would unmute him.
Yeah,
he waited very patiently, so we'll let him go first.
Let that little geek boy in here, because once again, he's trying to show, I have all of these mathematical spreadsheets for the common man to read and decipher.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Robert, but I do want to allow these people to their voice in here.
Hey, Robert.
No problem.
Let's tear his head off. He's nothing but a little four-eyed geek. Little mathematical geek is what he is.
Okay, here we go. Let me get you unmuted, Astronomy Live. Okay, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for letting me on. I appreciate it. I don't appreciate my full name being doxxed without my permission, and I don't appreciate all the insults and defamation being leveled against me. For one thing, I don't work for the government. I'm not a Satanist. I'm not some evil villain. I'm just trying to get to the truth and post mathematical proof for what I'm saying. I try to back up what I say with evidence and facts and go through the mathematics of it if necessary. So, for example, the example was brought up of the stereo behind images from 2007. I know you referenced SOHO, but they're actually from the stereo behind spacecraft. So back in early 2007, the stereo behind spacecraft was...
Sorry, my friend.
Hang on.
I'm sorry. They were not from the other two satellites. They were from SOHO itself.
No, hold on. No, we were talking about the stereo behind images from 2007. I have
the images, and I know exactly what camera they came from. So
I'm
going to lay that down.
On stereo behind.
No,
so
sorry,
from,
friend.
Yeah. No,
sorry,
friend. Was mentioned.
I know exactly which camera was picking up these things, and I have over 3,000 images from the SOHO satellite.
Okay, you're not talking about what I'm talking about.
I have the images, okay?
I have images too.
And you're lying.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Hang on.
Robert, give him a chance to make his statement, and then you can rebuttal.
Well, listen,
Okay.
here's the deal.
Hold on. Can I talk, please?
He's going to keep going over and over this same debunking footage, and he's going to tell us that it was the moon orbiting the sun all by itself.
I never said that the moon was orbiting the sun all by itself.
I don't care what mathematics you bring to the table, Sonny boy. You're not going to sit here and tell these people that we are not under some kind of threat. Just because you can't see this object with your shiny telescope doesn't mean that it's not there. And you want to talk about responsibility, my dear son? What type of responsibility are you going to have when something like this does occur and millions of people lose their damn lives?
Okay.
You want to
First of
talk
all,
about
calm
the
down.
suicide of people watching these videos. But what's wrong with being
prepared? I promised the host that I'd keep this civil, so, I'm not going to raise my voice like you.
What's wrong with being prepared?
Scott,
I'm not going to stand for this. I'm not going to stand for you and your little
let's let him
freak
say what he has to say. He's trying to be civil, he says.
Yeah, it's nothing
Let
but
him get his point out, and then we can rebuttal if we want.
I'll let the guests decide who's, being calm, cool, and collected here at the end, but I want to say that I will try to keep things civil. I'm not going to use insults and foul language. I am going to use mathematics because mathematics is the language of science. But the images from 2007 from Stereo Behind Core 2 did show the moon transiting in front of the sun. Now, it was not orbiting the sun, it was orbiting the Earth. Stereo Behind had only recently left the vicinity of the Earth and was moving away from the Earth-Moon system. And I showed this in a video, and I actually plotted the orbit in my own software and showed that it was, leaving the Earth-Moon system. And as it was doing so, the moon did transit in front of the sun from its perspective. In fact, the trajectory was planned so that could happen. And it did transit the sun as expected, and I showed that the moon should have been there, given the Stereo Behind spacecraft's position in space. You can do the mathematics. You can take the orbital elements, do it yourself, and you'll see that's where the moon should have been.
I know someone who does the mathematics. I've had Terrell 03 on here, and he has a very, very sane elliptical diaphragm of what's going on. And, why would you be the only one who has a different story of what's going on when all these other people who have researched this for years and years and years are telling the same story? That's my question to you.
Because he has good government benefits, that's why.
Okay, look, I don't work for the government. I did post the mathematics, and I welcome anyone to take it apart and show where it's wrong.
Have you ever looked at Terrell 03's work?
Yes, I have. I recall his work from 2011 where he claimed that Elenin was either a brown dwarf or was hiding a brown dwarf, and that a brown dwarf was coming into the solar system, some heavy mass object, and it didn't happen. Elenin broke up. It was a minor comet. It disintegrated before it even reached its closest approach to Earth, and we're all still here. If it had been a brown dwarf, or if a brown dwarf had been trailing behind it, as Terrell said, then it would have greatly disrupted the solar system on its way in. In fact, Elenin passed relatively close to one of the asteroids in the asteroid belt on its way in, and I showed that if it had been a brown dwarf, it would have, drastically perturbed the orbit of that asteroid, but that didn't end up happening. So it was just a minor comet as expected, and life goes on. Now, that's not to say that there isn't some brown dwarf well beyond Neptune in the outer solar system that we haven't discovered yet. It's possible.
So are you what you were trying to say, are you trying to tell us that Planet X does not exist?
No, that's not what I said. In fact, like I said, there could be a massive planet beyond Neptune that we haven't discovered yet. It's very possible. In fact, I personally believe that there is a planet that is perturbing the orbits of extreme trans-Neptunian objects and causing this clustering that we're seeing in the arguments of perihelion of these objects. So basically, their orbits seem to be co-aligned, and that would be expected if there were a massive object out there that is constraining their orbits, and its orbit would actually be basically anti-aligned. It would be opposite. It would be going around the solar system with an orbit that is aligned opposite those objects. And that could very well be out there, and I guess you could call that a Planet X, but it doesn't take on the attributes that are commonly ascribed to, Nibiru claims. Certainly not for some object that was seen, say by the stereo behind spacecraft transiting in front of the sun in 2007. It doesn't.
Hey, will you
fit that
explain to me then why there are all these military insiders that are verifying that this is going down?
That what is going down?
That this object is coming around our sun.
Well, as far as I can tell, they've been saying that for years, even before 2012, and, well, it hasn't happened. Now, like I said, there could be a massive planet out there well beyond Neptune, but I don't see how that's an immediate threat to us here on Earth. That's not to say that there aren't threats to us here on Earth right now, but I don't see that as being one of them. But more specifically, I want to get back to the point.
Let me. I have to butt in here, Boy Blunder. Listen, you want us to take a look at all of your high-tech mathematics. Well, look, I fail algebra every year in school. I'm sure most of us have failed it. So how are we supposed to verify your spreadsheets and your high-tech mathematics?
Well, I've already started a video series where
Let me ask you one more question.
No, I'm answering your question.
Okay, let me ask you one more question. This is going to make for a great video for you and Daza tomorrow, isn't it?
No, not really.
You're lucky that we gave you a voice here tonight. Because personally, I don't like your tactics. I don't like what you do.
Well, I don't like being called a government agent. I don't like being called a Satanist.
Look here. Look,
I'm not calling you names.
You act like one. Instead of trying to do the research to maybe help, you're going to debunk everything. Yeah, you're a smart dude. You're a smart dude, but I'm telling you what, you don't have any people skills. And when it's all said and done, you're going to be the first head they stick in that guillotine, boy.
Wow, okay, that sounds vaguely like a threat, but,
the government that you work for.
I don't work for the government. I keep telling you that.
Okay.
You keep using all these insults, but, look, I'm just
you can
facts and mathematics. And hang on, let me answer your question.
I've been your prime target. I've been your prime target for the last 2 months. I don't see you or Daza putting up any other videos of any other Planet X channels on YouTube, and there are hundreds. Why me? Answer the question, Boy Blunder. Why me?
I just did. Okay, well,
because
my last video that I.
You have been assigned to me.
Okay, calm down for a second. The last video I just uploaded.
You're lucky you're on the other end of a phone.
The last video I just uploaded was actually about WSO's channel. It wasn't about your channel.
Yeah, and I listened to all your smart little remarks about me. But you would never say that to my face standing in front of me because you're not a man. You're a punk. And you're the one that's going to get people killed.
Okay, wow. Actually, I would talk to you to your face the way I'm talking to you now. I don't have any problem with that because I'm, trying to be civil here and just, tell the truth.
You and your little smirky remarks and you and your little fat friend Maury. You people are not doing the world any service at all. You must be retarded. You don't see all of the things going on in this world right now? I mean, pay attention, Scott. Pay attention.
Oh, I'm paying attention, all right.
You're not doing anybody any service, boy. You are actually a threat. That's the way I look at you, a threat. You talk about all the YouTube channels make money, blah, blah, blah. That's bull.
Well, I'm just telling you, I don't make any money with my channel. That's all I'm saying.
I don't care about your channel.
Okay, well, I'm not.
But all you do is you are on me like white on rice, like a maggot in garbage.
Okay, you guys.
Can I answer,
I am going to have to mute you back, honey.
Can I get a chance to answer
I have other guests that have their hands raised.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I just want to answer his question real quick. He asked a fair question. He asked how anyone can verify my spreadsheet. So I have started a video series going through the mathematics, laying out the mathematics equation by equation, so everyone can see how it's done. Fully transparent, fully open. If anyone has any problem with it, they can look it up themselves. They can follow along in the video series.
NASA.
Okay, I'm not working for NASA. I don't work for the government, but I am trying to educate people about astronomy. That's the purpose of my channel, Astronomy Live. Please feel free to come check it out for yourself.
Channel is about debunking Nibiru and Planet X. Don't lie to these people. They'll go to your channel. They'll see exactly what you and Maury and Daza do for a living.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I don't
Thank you very much. I really do have to move on here, you guys.
Yeah,
we do have another guest down here with their hand raised. I mean, hold on. Unmute it at the same time. I don't have time. I'm sorry. I don't have time to have a debate. Here we go. Yes, guest 133, you've been very patient with your hand raised. You have a question or a comment for our guest tonight?
Hi, can you hear me? This is Michael. Hello?
Hello, Michael.
Oh, Scott, hey, it's great to hear your voice. I appreciate all the work. I've been trying to send you stuff, but for whatever reason, I'm getting blocked. I don't know why, but I'm receiving your channel and your information, so that's the most important thing. It's funny. I've been taking a couple of pictures myself, and I actually try to share, one with you. What I did want to get to with Scott talking to the debunkers, I've been following Scott now probably for 6 months, a subscriber for 3 months. He called them meteorites. I've seen them. I've seen them in the daytime. I've taken several pictures of other planets or something. I've taken a nice picture of that thing with the hole in it. I'm not quite sure what that is, but it's definitely nothing I know of. I've seen 2 glows in the sunrise, and I'm telling you, they're just chemtrailing the crap around here. That's the point that actually one of my questions was, does anybody feel, I know it's going to sound odd, but I've been getting these pounding headaches. They're just chemtrailing like crazy around here. Me and my wife, we see it all the time. Now today, I don't know why today, they took a break, my headache's gone. Maybe it's psychosomatic, I don't know.
Exactly. Same here. I live about 25 miles south of the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They have been chemtrailing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And yes, today they took a break. Why? I don't know. But they are doing this consistently all over the world. I talked to people in the UK, Scotland, Ireland, the Nordic countries, all over Europe, all over the United States. They are crushing our skies with these chemicals to block out the sun and to haze the sun. So their little device up there in space, that the sun simulator, works in conjunction with the chemtrailing. It's all deceit.
Yeah. I definitely, again, I see it. I still been able to see some things through it, but it has been harder. But I was curious again, I know it's not really forthcoming. We live kind of close to the coast, and me and my wife are getting up there a little bit. We have health issues, and, we worked hard for our house. I hope to survive this, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. But I definitely, I wish all, and especially guys like Scott, you guys, I learned about this show through Scott's channel tonight. I'm glad that I was able to hook in. But I really appreciate the work, and I'm trying to share stuff with you. For some reason, I can't get it to you, but that's beside the point. I'm getting the information. That's the most important thing. So God bless, and thank you for letting me ask about that. Like I said, I'm just curious if you hear about people getting side effects from all this chemtrailing.
Oh, yes, there are absolute side effects. Over the past week, I call it my allergies, but it's not my allergies. You have a little bit of trouble breathing. You're getting all of these particulates in your lungs. There are some other theories about what they're spraying in the air that falls to earth. And
I forget what they, some kind of a nanoparticulate that once it's in your lungs, whenever the government wants to activate these little nanoparticulates, it actually causes the human being to be very docile so they can control you when they need to. So there are a bunch of theories out there as far as this chemtrailing and geoengineering. Yeah. I personally think it's to block the sun out because these planes are going crazy crisscrossing the sun. That's not geoengineering.
Well, Scott, no, you also it is to make us ill because they do want people sick so that they aren't able to hike or fight against or try to survive.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Okay, thank you, Guest 133.
God bless you all.
I'm glad that you found my show. Next week, I'm always out here on Friday night. For everybody who's in the window, I'm always out here on Friday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. And next week, I am going to have David Mead on, and we are going to talk about his book and how he figured out the constellation of the stars and the lineup with this planet. So you might want to join us next week. The week after that, I'm going to have Scott come back with WSO. And at the beginning of that show, I am going to have Terrell 03 do a 20-minute update with us on what he has found. So, just if you join TalkShoe or go into Who Follows This Show, you can log your email address, and I send out notifications of being on the air and who's going to be on the show.
Well, thank you so much. And listen, again, God bless everybody. I wish everybody the best, and I still have faith in my heart in guys like Scott and WSO and Stevie and all the guys out there, Dodzy. I appreciate their work, and I appreciate the faith because I really have to reach for my faith right now. I'll be honest with you. I have to fight this fear because I know fear is the enemy. And my faith in God is the thing that preserves me today, But I appreciate, as like I say, I'm stocking up. I'm getting ready. I'm hoping to survive, but we'll see what happens, Anyway, God bless you guys.
The fair is to make sure we're right with the big guy.
But I tell you what, I try to live that, do unto others as you would unto you. It's like the number one thing, and if you kind of follow that and do the right thing, just be nice. I mean, I don't know. I just think it works. And
we don't have much time left on this planet. I think what time we do have left, we should be kind to each other, try to get along, try to help each other get through this, do what Scott's doing, get the information out there. For those that are having problems breathing, I've been experiencing the same thing. And I can tell you, if you go into Schwann's Vitamins and order some Boswellia is made from the frankincense tree. But the only thing is, if you're taking ibuprofen, some people have a reaction if you're on ibuprofen. So if you're going to take the Boswellia, you don't want to be taking the ibuprofen.
Right. I pretty much stay away. I've been
I told Scott about it. I don't think did you, Scott?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I told you about the Boswellia. Did you pick it up?
Yeah, no, I haven't been able to pick it up yet, but I'm definitely going to be getting my supply.
I got to check into that because, like I said, it just seems like these headache thing. I'm not a guy that gets headaches. That's the other thing. I don't get headaches. And all of a sudden, I'm getting.
I don't know if you know, Guest 133, but I had just read an article where a lot of the children, the babies in Michigan especially, they're all being hospitalized with breathing problems.
That doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't. It's awful frightening to think that they would go to such lengths. I kind of feel like, again, I don't know you both as well, and I know Scotty only because I've been following Scott for a long time, but how do you go to sleep at night doing these things? I mean, I don't know. I really, like you say, you call them Luciferian. To do such evil things, to mean, I don't like even harm. I don't like killing anything. I'm kind of zen in that way. I just don't like to hurt anything. Big animal lover, and I don't like to harm things. I hate to hurt people. I don't like to hurt people with words or actions or anything. I just don't know how you sleep at night doing things like this. I really don't. And it's tragic to think that the people that actually lead us that would take these tasks. It's just scary. It's really scary, you know.
Well, it's a hard weight to carry on our shoulders that we know, but you know, I do believe that Scott and Rob, myself, and all of us that are working to get this information out were picked. We were chosen to be here at this time, and we're just doing what the Lord wants us to do, and that's try to guide people through this and inform them of what we find out. Right, Scott?
Absolutely, and I do lose sleep every single day. I lose sleep over this because I feel that we as human beings, men, women, and children on this earth, we deserve better from our governments. We deserve better. We built this world. The governments didn't build this world. We built it. This is our planet, not the government's planet. They're using our money in taxes to deceive us. That is awful. That is putrid.
And it cause harm, too. I mean, it went to the environment and to us physically. I mean, you know, it can't be good.
Well, the worst part about it is they're using our tax money to save their own butts.
I know it's not even. It's a very bad joke. It's a terrible joke. But listen, keep up the great work. I'll let somebody else chime in. But thank you very much. And listen, it was so nice to talk to you. Like I said, God bless, and I really wish everybody the best. I really do wish everybody. I just, my heart goes out to everybody out there, and keep the faith and keep close to God, and I think we'll be okay. If it isn't in this life, I'll be okay in the next. You know.
That is true. That is true. There will be life after this.
Yes, sir. Hey, God bless, and God bless everyone. God bless Scott, and we'll see you tomorrow, next Friday.
You too. Thank you, buddy.
Take care, Scott. Thanks again, everybody. Great night. Thank you.
You know, I'm so sorry for getting, you know, so passionate, and as this boy Blunder is now saying in the chat that I'm getting loud. Well, you know what? I need a loud voice. I need people to hear me. You're not going to hear me. You're not going to hear me if I'm a little meek mouse in the corner. But you're going to hear me.
We love you the way you are, Scott. You don't have to be sorry.
You know, I mean, it's to the point now where this is an actual fight. This is a battle. This is a war. And it shouldn't be that way. This should be all of us as human beings out for the truth, not to debunk some damn YouTube video. Things are getting very, very serious. We have this crazy election, which is nothing but a farce, more deceit. The threat of World War III, more deceit. They just want to keep our attention on other things other than the sky. Because let's admit it, folks, we don't walk around in today's society staring up into the sky like ancient people did. Our faces are in our cell phones, in our iPads. That's where they're at. They're not.
I think that's why they brought that Pokemon 2 game out, to keep everybody focused on looking down into their cell phones.
Exactly. And now you can clearly see over the past 9 months how many people they're now paying attention to what's going on in the sky. That's why they're sabotaging our YouTube channels. That's why they're sabotaging the radio shows. They blow your cell phones up. They burn your computers up. Robert, how many computers have you lost?
Oh, I lost 4.
Yeah.
I lost 4 computers, and I know that your phone got burned up the last time you were on here.
Yep.
I know that Robert has lost his computers and his phone, and I think he got knocked out of the window. So, Robert, if you're back in the window, You're going to have to star 8 because I've got several Californias here, and I don't know which one is you for me to unmute you again. So if you're listening to me, you're going to have to star 8. If you're not star 8ing, then I guess we lost you. Oh, there he is. Okay, yeah, he is back in the window.
Can you hear me
honey,
now?
When you got knocked out, when you come back in, you go to a different spot on my screen, so I didn't know which one was you.
No problem at all. No problem at all. I think Scott did a good job. I personally would have left that guy on mute, period. Okay?
Well, I try to give everybody a chance to speak, especially if I'm going to allow audience participation.
I understand that. There's so much information that's been leaked out by various peoples over the time, from NASA. NASA's people have been leaking. The governments around the world have been leaking different information to warn people about what's coming. The Vatican has been leaking. So, this one person, he can sit there and pull one spreadsheet after another, or whatever he's doing. But when you have all these leaks showing and telling about what they're not doing, the only way to put this pure and simple, they want a mass depopulation from everyone around the planet except for the elite. Just like in the movie 2012, everyone was basically wiped out with little pockets here, and there was a new world order where other people were in charge. Fewer people, more food.
I'm going to have me some elite barbecues. I can tell you that much right now. Because I'm not messing around with these people anymore. I tell these trolls on my YouTube channel all the time, you're messing with the wrong guy. You can push other YouTube channels around, but you're not going to push me around. I'll spread barbecue sauce on you, and I will roast you.
And I agree with you. The elite know exactly what's going to happen. That's why they built all the stuff to be prepared for. We've been hiding M1 Abrams battle tanks up in Norway's caves for up to 10 years. The SOHO satellite has been picking up these huge things all around our sun for years.
Yeah. We have another guest that would like to ask a question, you guys.
Yeah,
go ahead. Interrupt you, but let's give him a chance.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Hold on, let me get him unmuted. Welcome to the show, Guest 77. Do you have a question or a comment for our guest tonight?
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Well, listen, I have to agree with both Scott and Bob. I've been researching this for years and years and years. Scott, you're a favorite of mine. Bob, I enjoy your work.
Thank you.
Don't take this wrong, but you get a little monotonous sometimes. But I love your work. Listen, to all the naysayers out there, you have to understand something very clearly. These two gentlemen who are on the air right now, and by the way, I put it this way, I've been following this for years. I've been guests on other people's show. I'd rather remain anonymous, okay? But the bottom line is, these two gentlemen aren't here to entertain you. This isn't about entertainment. This is about reality. These two guys, myself and many, many, many others who put their lives on the line to bring you truth. Nowadays it seems like, for example, you guys just brought up the elections. People looking at this like this is entertainment. Like, oh, wow, I can follow the incredible nonsense and stupidity of what's happening in our country. You better get this through your sheepalized, thick skulls. What's happening right now is absolute history with what's going on. This isn't a game. This isn't Pokemon. This is not Star Wars. Understand that what's happening right now is making history, and what both Scott and Bob and many, many others are saying is 100% truth. It's happening. It's reality. You think that global warming. It just happened by chance that these so-called government officials are just saying this stuff to entertain you. This is a reality. This is a fact. In Italy, a mud volcano explodes. Okay, this just happened today. You think that this stuff is being made up, is just being written about, just to entertain you, to give you the quote unquote porn doom? No, this is all reality. This is a fact. This is happening. A lot of the photographs that you guys have produced, that your listeners, your followers have produced, though they may not all be accurate, a lot of photographs have been analyzed. They are factual. They're happening. And for one, Scott, I don't want to give it away, but you know the Brazilian photograph that I'm talking about from São Vicente?
Yes.
Of the two suns coming up.
Yes.
That is 100% proven. Okay? There is a binary solar system in our system, and it is getting closer. I've been following that for years and years and years. That little two-sun rise coming up used to be just the speck. Now it is almost to the equal of our own sun. The only reason that is even being illuminated is from our own sun because what we have is a brown dwarf. Our brown dwarf is illuminating that. Our sun, is illuminating that brown dwarf, which is coming up and fading behind our sun. Do you people understand what that means when those two bodies are coming up? Our sun stays bright. The other one is glowing a very dark red-orange, and then is fading back. It's because of the way our solar system is rotating and the way our Earth rotates. Listen to the Inuit people who have said,
yes,
the stars are off. The sunrise is no longer rising in the same position that it used to. Don't
Correct.
you people get this? This is what bothers me, guys, because I know how passionate you are. I understand the validity and reality of what is coming, even through mainstream Planet 9. They're throwing it at our faces, and yet everyone wants to ignore it, just like the political craziness that's going on. Okay? People, these nutball liberals, and they're not liberals. They don't even know what they are. They're ignoring the reality of what's happening. It's like a chaos that is all coming together at one point, guys. And I've been trying to make sense of this now forever. And I don't know where it's going. I don't know where it's headed. But I can tell you this, that wherever this ends up is not good. I'm sorry. I don't mean to rant, but I love both of you guys. I follow both you guys all the time and many others. And this is the reality of things. And people choose to look at this as freaking entertainment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not in the entertainment.
Sorry, Jeff 77. Don't be sorry. And you know what, Scott? I told you today what I've been going through for the last 13 years and what it's done to me. And I don't think that I laid my life down on the line and be slowly murdered to entertain people.
Exactly. You know, and I don't do this to entertain people. I don't do this to make money.
Neither do I.
I mean, I do this plain and simple. It's because it disgusts me to have our world governments, and they're all in it together. And for them to do this to the people on this planet makes me sick. Hey, they'll probably eventually get to me sooner or later. But I'll tell you what, they better bring a freaking army of those MKL soldiers or whatever the hell they call them. I'm not going down without a fight.
Agreed.
That's for sure. You know, and getting to the part that you were talking about the sun and the sunrises. Last week, I had hundreds and hundreds of people emailing me frantically because they were getting up in the morning
in the Midwest part of the United States and telling me, why is the sun rising in the South? What the hell is going on?
Exactly, Scott.
I had people from all over Oklahoma that were out, getting ready for deer hunting. And they're sitting in their blinds waiting for the sun to rise, and these are hunters. They know where the sun rises. And it rose in the south, southwest. What the hell is going on? And you're going to try to tell me that your little spreadsheet of mathematics is going to make me believe different? I don't think so.
Scott, just so you know, I talked to the local people in my area, okay? I talked to my mailman just not last week, and I said, do you see where the sun is setting? He says, yeah, I see where it's setting, and I don't understand why it's doing that. You got a local mailman who delivers mail who's looking at this and saying, I don't understand what's going on, but I definitely know this isn't right.
Exactly. They think, the elite think that the common man, we're just stupid. But we're not stupid. If you clearly start paying attention to what's going on above your head and you start documenting it, not on paper, just in your mind, and you will clearly see that things are very, very different. And the way that they're controlling the skies and controlling the information only leads you to one thing: pure deceit. Bottom line.
And one more thing I want to bring up, Scott, which you were absolutely correct on. And Bob, I don't know if you brought this up, but this visible so-called star that is not Venus or Mercury that I see come up now, that is getting brighter. Okay, all you have to do is look in the late look as the moon is coming up. Okay, and I'm talking about because I live on the West Coast. Look at the moon where it's coming up, and this visible object, which is getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And folks, that is not Venus or it is not Mars. It's not Venus or Mars.
I'm seeing it here in Pacifica also.
I saw it tonight.
How can people not figure this out, guys?
Yeah,
how can they not know this?
It wasn't Venus. And it's going to keep on getting bigger and bigger. And just like some of the renowned researchers have said, people are not going to believe until they walk out of their door
and it slaps them upside the head.
Exactly. And then, at that point in time, there's not going to be any time to prepare.
That's right.
I do agree. Look, there are going to be tens of millions of people that are not going to survive. And if you just think about it, leaving all of the people on the west coast of the United States, all of the people on the east coast of the United States, all of the people around the world that live in rural communities, that's it. That's just like a big broom sweeping these people into the garbage can because they know that the tidal surges and the tsunamis are going to wipe out a third of the people instantly. So instead of warning these people, they're going to let them all die. And that's
always been, that's always been the basic thing, Scott, is that it would be worse to give a warning and everyone jams the roads, stuck in traffic jams left and right. It'd be easier to give no warning whatsoever. And I know it sounds callous. I know it sounds stupid. But that's actually what will happen.
Oh,
They won't give any warnings.
Absolutely not.
But you know what, you guys, you know what makes me sick is that we are giving the warning. And again, this is why I mentioned what I said earlier, that people are looking at this as like entertainment. This is like watching a movie or SNL or something like that. We are giving the warning because there are many, many people who are talking and speaking out about this and yet they choose to remain in this blissful sense of, let's go listen to the doom and gloom show. It's like going through the movies or something. They're not getting the fact that we're telling them this is reality, because we're giving them ample warning to say, hey guys, you guys living on the California coast and living near whoever lives on the coast of Mexico and Texas and North Carolina and so on and so forth, in Florida. You know what? You could do something about this. Wake up. Maybe I should move a couple of 100 miles away from the coast inland.
Yes,
what really makes me upset is when they start calling us crazy and that we don't know what we're talking about.
They called Noah crazy too, Bad Baby.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, I put in some days 10, 12, 14 hours. I'm up in the middle of the night. I don't sleep. I'm trying to get all of the information I can. I'm literally talking to people on the phone in other countries. I have people sneaking information out of Eastern European countries to get me the information because they are already being censored. My videos and Steve Olson's videos on WSO, we just found out a few days ago that YouTube has added filters to our YouTube channels.
Yes.
So if you do not go to our channel to seek the information, you're not going to see it pop up, even if you have a notification subscribed to notify you when we put a video up. It's not working.
Facebook is doing the same thing to me, and the images I put up. I've had too many people saying, Bob, I see what you're typing. I don't see the images.
Yeah, me too.
And I have to repost the images over and over and over again.
Me
so
too,
yes,
Robert. Mine show up item not shown, and the same with TalkShoe. TalkShoe took my advertising to be on live on the Live Now page. My show does not show up anymore that I'm on live, and a lot of times when I go to post my show on Facebook, it won't let me post. I have to actually manually cut and paste it to get it posted because they do not want me to let people know that we're out here on the air and we're warning people.
Now the other problem all of us are running into here. You will have always some people who believe everything we're saying. Other people are sitting on the fence, seeing which way the wind's blowing. Do they believe you or do they believe the news media and the government? The government's supposed to give a warning on all this stuff.
Yeah, and I've got a piece of land I want to sell you, Bob.
Well, I've got several bridges out here I'll sell you, too.
Exactly.
Okay? And then the third group, they don't believe a damn thing, period, no matter what. And all this stuff is going to slap everyone upside the head so hard real soon. And it was all laid out very clearly by this Don Smalter in the John Podesta email. Now, how did John describe everything I've been warning about and what Scott's been warning about for years?
Bobby, you were referring to the email that was sent to Hillary Clinton on all the emails that were basically what's the word I want to use? A compressed idea about what's been said through the Zeta Talk for years and years. Is that the one?
Yes.
Okay.
The one from 2014. The title on top is that Hillary Clinton doesn't know anything about global warming or something. See, Marshall Masters was the first one to lay down everything. He knew that the planet Pluto dwarf planet Pluto, it was warming up. Methane was being put in its atmosphere, which was clearly being seen. So something started warming up out at Pluto. Then it went to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. All of Saturn's moons were warming up on the bottom, all coming in from the bottom part. Jupiter's moons were all warming up from the bottom. The bottom of Jupiter was warming up. Now, Robert S. Harrington was the first one to say that Nibiru orbits through our system at a high angle above the ecliptic, about 35 to 40 degrees. So it was coming down, coming in between Jupiter and Mars, going below our sun, then going right back out the same way it came in. Okay, so it was dropping down below our sun, then going back out at the high angle.
Which, by the way, Carlos Funes Ferrara said the same exact thing, except there was just a small discrepancy in angular momentum, and he called it a comet planet. But he describes the same exact thing. This guy was a huge South American scientist who predicted earthquakes to almost the very hour of when these things happen, yet people chose to ignore him.
Okay. Here's a good astronomy program. www.astroviewer.com. ASTROVIEWER.com. It's a free program. Go in it, click on the solar system. Look at our nice little solar system. Click on the button that says Dwarf Planet Sedna. Dwarf Planet Sedna, S-E-D-N-A. Then back as far off away from our solar system as you can. The dwarf planet Sedna orbits clockwise. It's orbiting around something that's not there in the program. But our little tiny solar system is down in the right-hand corner. Sedna's orbiting a huge orbit around something. It also has a huge angle to its ecliptic above the ecliptic of our solar system. The same angle as Robert S. Harrington mentioned Nibiru did. Now, in 2009, NASA leaked a great deal of information, allowing 8 images to be made from 2009 to December 21st, 2012. It shows Nemesis and 6 planets orbiting Nemesis. Planet number 6 in all 8 images slowly rotates around Nemesis until December 21st, 2012. The information in the image is very clear that NASA projected that we would not see Nibiru because it was 20 AUs away from coming into our solar system on December 21st, 2012. It's all laid out in all this information. An astronomer friend of mine said, "Bob, what the frick are you talking about?" So I sent him all the information. He worked out the approach speed of Nibiru. He said we would not see it until the end of November or December 2014. And lo and behold, it showed up in our solar system with the wings, which has always been marked down for Nibiru. These huge wings on both sides. Now, you probably know those wings are produced by the solar wind from our
Absolutely.
sun as Nibiru comes in close to Jupiter. Okay? Now, the problem everyone doesn't seem to want to understand or is totally ignorant about is that Robert Harrington said Nibiru was orbiting through our system clockwise. There's that nice whistle again. It has these 13 satellites, and we're seeing the outer 8 in our solar system right now. I have several photographs showing 2 of these things sitting really close to our sun. The white one with the huge hole in it, and the one that looks just like Jupiter, but no huge round thing. That is planet number 13. I've been following this stuff for at least April of 2015. I don't know how many images I have. BADBABY, am I still on the air?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, you're here, honey.
There's a huge echo effect.
There's a big delay echo, yeah.
I don't hear it. I'm not hearing it, so it must be on your end. You guys are hearing it.
Yeah, very clearly.
Sorry.
So, that's all right. So,
77, let me mute you. If you want to speak again, just star 8. It might be because we have you unmuted. So, has that fixed it, Robert?
Hello? No, it hasn't.
Well, we're being perped again, you guys. What can I say?
Can you
I'm
hear
doing
me?
the best I can here. Let me mute myself. Maybe it might be coming from my perps. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to mute myself. Go ahead and talk and tell me if it's fixed.
Okay, is it fixed now?
That's good.
Can you hear?
That's good.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. So too many people are seeing this stuff in our skies all around the planet. I've got friends that's been seen from Scotland, Ireland, from Europe, from there's that bad whistle again. They're seeing it over in China. They're seeing it in Japan. They're seeing it up in Russia. So there's no way in heck everyone's lying. It's just very simple. This is going to catch so many people off guard, and we'll be hitting them upside the head so fast that they won't be able to do anything. I was given this job of trying to warn a lot of people by my contact. I'm not going to mention her name or what she is. That's why I'm on Facebook on almost a daily basis, getting all these photographs, just like Scott doing it. I don't make any money off this stuff. I've lost 2 desktop computers, 17 laptop hard drives, and my wife keeps telling me, "Why are you doing this stuff?" I'm doing it for the same reason you're doing this show, Scott's doing his stuff, to warn as many people as I can. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm just afraid that the survivors are going to be a workforce that's not even going to be paid minimum wage.
Exactly.
They're going to get food and water, and they're going to be in the FEMA camps. Every country around the planet has their own way of dealing with this stuff. The elite will go down into the deep underground military bunkers. The elite says or thinks they're going to be safe. Everyone on the surface is going to be fodder for all of the rocks and stuff. They'll come down, damaging, destroying, killing as many people as get in the way of it. They've known about this. Russia built over 5,000 bomb shelters in and around Moscow because Planet X was coming in. A high-ranking engineer up in Norway on the Svalbard seed vault and stuff on their deep underground military bases, he turned politician. And he outed the fact that all of their elite will be in those deep underground military bases, and everyone on the surface will die. He said because Planet X was coming in. Now, whether it was Nibiru or one of these 8 satellites that we're seeing in our stars, in our skies right now, I've never been able to find a definition of what Planet X stands for. But we have 8 new things in our stars that hasn't been seen for over 3,000 years. Ippawar, back in Egypt, they were seeing them. And he calls them in his detailed account the bad omens. You see something weird in the sky, it's a warning from the gods. It's an omen. Ippor's account is still surviving. His full account is in the Colburn Bible, although his accounts are on the internet. But each account on the internet says, don't believe this. It sounds just like the 9 plagues from Egypt. It's not real. Don't worry. Sure. Just like the Tempest Stella from Akhmos, which is on the internet. It goes into great detail. It's something massive. Some type of huge wave went into Egypt, and almost everything was flooded. Ippawar said very clearly that when the Pharaoh, a Hyksos Pharaoh, finally caught up with the leaving slaves and evildoers, the slaves were the Israelis. The evildoers were the huge amount of Egyptians who attached themselves with the Israelis. I'm unmuted again? Oh, jeez.
I'm unmuted, honey. I unmuted myself. You heard that?
Yes, I did hear it on my side.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just unmuted myself real quick because guest 77 has his hand raised again. So then the echo must be coming through my phone. You shouldn't have heard that. You're unmuted.
I heard it very clearly. We have the echoes really bad now.
Okay, I'm going to unmute this guy, and then I'll mute myself back so that your echo is gone away. So it is my perps that are perping the show. I will mute myself. If you need to ask me something, just go ahead and ask me, and I'll unmute myself again.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring up the fact, one of Scott's videos that he brought up, that the fact of the matter is that because of all the evidence he's been bringing up, and Scott, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you had 2 scumbags try and blow up your car, okay? If this wasn't real, if this wasn't factual, if this wasn't happening, why would you have 2 paid troll shills trying to blow up Scott's car? And thank God that he had neighbors with integrity and morals that caught these 2 scumbags trying to blow up his vehicle, and now they're going to be serving a very long sentence in jail. And by the way, because they're going to be serving that long jail long sentence in jail, they're not going to be able to get out and save themselves when this whole thing comes down. Scott, can you talk more to that?
Yeah, actually, what was it about? Like a little over 2 weeks ago, their preliminary hearing came up, and I was just waiting and waiting for someone to post bail for these two scumbags. But their bail was set at, $250,000 straight cash. And they're still sitting there. And they made some serious mistakes. I can't go into a lot of the investigation and these other scumbag trolls that infiltrate my YouTube channel keep asking, oh, show us a police report. Show us a police report. What a stupid statement. Like, I'm going to post a police report on a very serious, active investigation. Give me a break. These two will probably start running their mouth, and as I call it, diarrhea of the mouth, when things start to get really, really scary for them. Because I hope they got a big boyfriend in their cell with them right now. And yes, if it wasn't for, my neighbor who they assaulted, but, too bad for them that Joe is a, retired steel mill worker here in Pittsburgh, 66 years old and in phenomenal shape. And they put him in a chokehold, or, a rear naked chokehold. But, unfortunately for them, Joe was able to get a hold of the one and fall on top of him. And then a few other guys. There's a social club that was right up the street from my residence. These guys were coming out of the Italian club. They saw the ruckus going on in the alley. They knew it was Joe, because Joe still has a full head of hair, beautiful white hair. They noticed him, clear as a bell. And they rushed down there, and they held these two idiots. And then, Joe said, hey, man, they were doing something underneath Scott's car right there in the back. Well, one of the other guys went to his cell phone and turned on his little flashlight on his cell phone, looked underneath my car, and found an 8-inch pipe bomb, and they were wiring it to the, I guess like a wiring harness, my light harness in the rear of my car. So,
yeah, but Scott, this is all pretend, right?
What's that?
This is all pretend, isn't it, Scott? These guys, they just wanted to give you a love kiss. This is all pretend. This is not real. There's no Planet X.
Here's where things get real freaky, because later on I came to find out that these two individuals had multiple identifications. They had a rental car that was rented, I think it was in Maryland. They also had a laptop computer that was sitting in the car, and the vehicle was parked about a half a block away. Now, how they come across it, I guess they must have told them. The laptop was live. It had my YouTube channel live on the laptop. They also had a device with them that allowed them to break into Wi-Fis in the neighborhood, people who have secured Wi-Fi. So they were literally breaking into Wi-Fis and trolling my channel. The individuals, I think one was from Indiana, the state of Indiana. The other was from, I think, Maryland. But the vehicle was rented in Maryland. They had multiple cell phones. So, obviously they have a handler. Whether they wanted to shut me up permanently, well, buddy, better wake up a little earlier in the day. And they're very, very lucky that I didn't have a family member or a child or somebody, in that vehicle. You want to take me out, take me out. But, you risk killing someone else. Just like all of the disinformation that's spread out there. What you're doing is you're eventually going to kill people. You're going to cause people to believe that there's nothing wrong. Just put them.
They were probably given a lie saying that they would be spared, or something, so they really didn't care. You go, I'm alive. Don't worry about it. Yeah,
well,
that's the only thing that makes any sense.
I just want to say something to both of you. I think you are extraordinary human beings with the will and the gumption to put this information forward. You know, guys, I used to do what you guys are doing, but I had the helicopters over my house, and I've got family members, and I had to stop. And Scott, I think I sent you an email regarding this.
Yeah, I remember now.
But I just need to tell you how much I love and respect both of you for what you're doing and the truth that you're putting out there. You are extraordinary human beings dealing with extraordinary times and dealing with the opposition who will stop at nothing to shut you guys down. I just need to kind of get off because I want you guys to continue. I just want to tell you I love you and I have the most respect you could imagine for both of you and everyone out there doing this. And I'm telling you right now, listen to these guys. Do your research. Just don't take these guys' word for it. Do your own research. It's out there. And then you're going to wake up. I mean, you're really going to wake up. Not just because you're listening to a program about doom and gloom. It's like fear porn. Don't do it. Go out there and do the research. I did it for years. Scott's been doing this for 13 years. Bob, I don't even know how long you've been doing this. But I know the kind of effort and time you put into this. Guys, all of you listening out there, please take heed to what these two gentlemen are saying and everyone else who's been talking about this. And as you just heard Scott, because that's why I brought this up, to make him push this forward, they tried to blow his freaking car up. No two stooges would try to be blowing his car up if this wasn't real, to shut him up. Okay? I love both of you guys. Please continue to do what you do, and I'm going to get off the air. And BADBABY, thank you so much for letting me on the air. I'm going to listen off the air. I love you guys. Bye.
You too, buddy. You too. Thank you. You know, and to go even further, you know, to try to, you know, infiltrate us and try to push our buttons. You know, a few months ago, one of these scumbag trolls infiltrated my 13-year-old daughter's Facebook account and created a Facebook account of one of her friends, then sent her an instant message asking her, oh, hey, you know, this is Sarah. I lost my password to my Facebook. Can you accept my friendship again? You know, so my 13-year-old daughter, yeah, she accepted it. And then the next message that she got was an absolutely horrifying pornographic photograph along with a message about me, her father, and what I'm doing. So if you're going to stoop to a scumbag level to send a 13-year-old girl a very horrific pornographic picture just to get back at her father, then you are not worth the dog crap that I just wiped off my shoe. And that didn't work. Yeah, you know, I had some problems with my daughter for a couple of days. You know, her mom was not very happy with me. But, you know, if you're going to go after my kids, then I'm going to take everything very personally. And as you can see with the tone of my voice, I do take all of this personally, whether it's my family, my friends, my co-researchers, or humanity in general. I take this very personally. Very personally. You'll hear it in my videos. I tell people, get out there, do your own research. I'm giving you the foreground to do it. The information's out there. Dig a little bit. Pay attention to what's going on around you, and you will start to see everything is adding up. Why do you think this little four-eyed geek was on this radio show tonight in the chat room? He was assigned to this as his little operation because I put the video up there. a half an hour before this radio show went live on YouTube. I put the video up there with the link. He would not have known about it if this video on YouTube with the link to this radio show was not up there. And he was the first one in the chat room. The first. People, what does that tell you? He's not here to defend his name. He's not here to let people know there's nothing of a threat in our skies. This was his assignment. Bottom line, his assignment.
He didn't do a good enough job then.
No, because he's a...
How's our audio doing, you guys?
It's doing really good.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, well, I logged out and I cleaned my, I flushed a bunch of stuff down the toilet.
Okay.
So whoever was hacked in, I got rid of them.
Your audio has been super clean ever since.
Yeah, well, I'll have to remember what I did. So, they were hacked in through my phone and through my computer. So, bye-bye. Flushed them down the toilet, you guys.
86'd him, yeah.
Yeah, you know what's kind of funny, too? You know, and every time I'm on a radio show or, I'm on a phone call, and I hear them tap into my phone or even this radio show, and I hope some of these agents are actually listening because I always give them the same message. And here it is again, buddy boys. All of you little alphabet soup agencies, you better remember one damn thing. When the shit hits the fan, your government is going to leave you out in the cold with us.
That's right.
With us. You're going to be out there on land with us. You're not going to be in the Golden Corral under the Denver International Airport. You're going to be with us.
That Denver International.
We're going to identify you. We're going to identify you, and we're going to have that barbecue.
That dome underneath the Denver airport is fully activated now.
Oh yeah.
A whole bunch of other stuff is fully activated. They're just waiting. That's what they're using the Walmarts for, is prepositioning. Because when all this debris comes down out of the sky, it's going to take all the satellites out. You won't have your GPS working. You won't have your telephones working or anything. Neither will the military. The military will have to use their prepositioned whatever stuff, and then they know how to work around from there.
You want to hear something? You want to hear something that's very interesting about GPS? And I'll just put this right out there. I have a very good friend of mine who's an air traffic controller. Not going to mention the airport that he works at. But not too long ago, in the beginning of this year, there was a situation at Tampa International Airport. Planes that were coming in were flying 40 to 60 miles off course. Well, how can that happen? Does anybody know?
Not me.
With today's technology, how can a jet airliner flying into a large international airport fly 40 miles off course consistently? And then they're reporting it. They're like, what's going on? Well, I come to find out that this is basically happening at international airports all over the world. So I contacted my buddy and I said, hey, listen, can you clue me in on this? He was very, very tight-lipped about it. He said, how did you find out about that? I said, well, there was an article in the Tampa newspaper about it, but the article got squashed immediately. And it had something to do with them constantly having to recalibrate all of their instrumentation in the tower.
The computer programming.
The planes are flying off course for a reason.
Right.
Okay? The reason is not a little technical reason. If our Earth is already started in a tilt, well, wouldn't that set off all of the GPS satellites and all the instrumentation, wouldn't a compass start to go haywire?
Okay, you guys, we got another guest that wants to ask a question.
Fire away.
Welcome to the show. Would you like to ask one of the guests tonight a question?
Run, Forrest, run! Run, Forrest, run!
Oh, God. Okay. And we had Shit for Brains ask a question.
Yeah, throw pork at him. Throw some barbecue sauce on him, and I'll take him to the cookout.
I had somebody ask me in the chat if I went and took a shit. No, and if I did, it would be on your head, so I could call you shithead.
You know, I'm very serious when I tell these trolls on my YouTube channel, when the day comes and we're all out there hunting for our next meal, I'm going to hunt you down. I'm going to hunt trolls, and I'm going to barbecue them. Because, I mean, let's face it, you know, probably most of the animals will probably perish. So I'm going to have to hunt trolls.
The animals will be the smartest one. They'll be scurrying far faster than the humans will be.
You know, speaking of animals, I got a very disturbing email from one of my subscribers in Canada. Once again, you know, an outdoors person, a hunter, fisherman, you know, knows the outdoors. And about this time of year, the geese, which way should they be flying? South. Well, flocks of them are all flying north. It's the same as the fish kills, you know, and all of this going on that's not really being publicized. This has been going on now for, the last couple of years.
Right.
And these animals rely on that instinct, and for birds to be flying north at this time of year, well, something's affecting them.
Yes, that thing's in their head. I can't remember the name for it right now, where they know which way to go.
A lot of the birds seem to be disoriented. I've noticed here at my house that they're flying into the side of the building or the windows. It's like they're, you know, I kind of thought it was because of the chemtrailing.
No, it's because of the Earth's rotation and the wobble. They're
you know, and the other thing is, too, all the whales that are beaching themselves, they go by star, you know. You can tell that a lot of things are off track. But we do have another guest with their hand raised, and let's get a question in here.
Yeah, go for it.
Welcome to the show, Arizona. You have a question for our guest tonight?
Yes, he says that there is a heavenly, it looks like a planet, but it's not a planet when the moon rises. I've noticed it. I'm in Arizona.
Well,
I'm in Arizona, and I've noticed it very definitely.
A lot of these things are being picked up at nighttime when you're seeing different color objects in the sky. I don't know which ones they are. The big red one has been seen over Mexico really clearly, and probably over Arizona as well. See, we've never seen this stuff before. Humans,
I've never noticed that. And I sit out on my porch almost every night, and it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter.
Right.
And another thing I wanted to ask, there was supposed to be an observatory put up on Mount Graham in Tucson, and they nixed the project. because you know why? Because there was a rare red squirrel that was on the mountain, and they couldn't build the observatory because of that red squirrel. Is that ridiculous? Well, I think it was because they couldn't control that observatory.
Possible on both accounts. I mean, there was the little ground owl that was found in several areas, and that thing nixed a whole bunch of projects. So it's a possibility. Things don't sound right. The FEMA camps with all the thousands of 3 to 5 person casket type things being buried out in front don't sound right. Each government agency from the post office down buying massive amounts of guns and ammunition don't sound right. Building of the emergency seed vaults didn't sound right. Why do you need all these emergency seed vaults for? Every country has one. FEMA buying up all these massive train cars called CarMax trains, and then having these things welded on the sides, and inside they have shackles hanging. Doesn't sound right. Too many things don't sound right. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Arizona. We have another person that has their hand raised.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, honey. Well, I think we do. Hold on. Okay, yes, Joanna. Welcome to the show, Joanna. You have a question for our guest tonight?
You sure you don't need to go take a shit?
Okay.
That's going to be
I'm
another
going to
one.
start asking you to call me Bob.
That's
Bob,
going to be
open
another
kiss
one.
my ass.
You know, speaking about this ammunition that Robert just mentioned, you know, they ordered what was it, like billions of rounds of 223. For, you know, now the military doesn't use hollow point bullets, even in the active war. But all of these bullets, these 223 rounds that were ordered by the United States government, were all hollow points.
Right. I've heard the same thing.
Yep. Hollow points, meaning shoot to kill, shoot to maim, and, you know, the most destruction to the human body. So, you know, and then we get to the fact that we still have all of these UN troops scattered about the United States. Well, basically in the Midwest.
Right.
Well, there's about 120,000 of them in troops of 10,000, starting at Camp Graven in Michigan. Why are they still here? It's very simple. A UN soldier programmed, they're not going to have a problem shooting an American citizen.
Nope.
But, you know, the possibilities of a U.S. soldier wearing our flag on his sleeve might just have a problem shooting an unarmed American citizen. That's murder.
Right.
That's murder.
They're not going to care. I'm sorry, my friend. I know your listeners don't want to hear it. They're not going to care. Okay? Because there's going to be massive rioting, just as it was put in the email from WikiLeaks. Same exact things. There's going to be massive rioting to grab everything and anything from another human. And they're going to have to sit back and let it all happen so the population goes down to a point where they can control it again. That's why all that stuff was built for. That's why the possibility of guillotines being made for this stuff, as Bad Baby's known, and probably Scott knows also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why I keep telling these idiots that you're going to be the first ones going to those guillotines. All of the little government trolls throughout New Zealand the UK, and the United States and Canada, I mean, I've already uncovered the agencies that employ these idiots. A lot of them are taken right out of the courtroom for, you know, they've been arrested for committing computer crimes, computer hacking, you know, cyber stuff. And, you know, they threaten them with a lengthy prison stay, or you can come to work for us. And then they're giving the same bullshit lies. Oh, you know, we'll take care of you. We'll take care of you. Well, look at the two idiots that tried to blow my car up. Where are they at? Nobody bailed their asses out yet. They're still sitting there. So the bottom line is, you're being lied to.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to come and save you. And just like I said before, you're going to be out there with us.
That's
and
right.
I'm going to remember everything. And yeah, you know, there's going to be looting, and there are bad people in this world. And yeah, we're going to have our hands full. But I'll tell you this much: when I'm out there defending my life and my family and my friends and the people in my group, man, you better not cross my path, because there will be no law to protect you. There will be no government to protect you. And we are all going to be out to protect ourselves. And this is going to be a very uncivilized world for probably quite some time. But you know what? Hopefully humanity bands together and we wipe these idiots out, and, you know, hopefully we're given a chance to start over. I might not be here. You know, I might not be here. All of us might not be here. But if I am, I'm going to give it one hell of a shot. You can guarantee that.
Same here. I took reserve police officer training, and I know enough about ancient history about what kind of things work the best way to defend myself, my family, or my friends. You know, so hey, when this stuff happens, there's going to be a lot of people going bye-bye because they wouldn't listen, or they tried the wrong way to take what they needed. And so hopefully and thankfully the ETs that are on our side are going to be coming forward really soon. I know they've been, the SOHO satellites, stereo ahead, stereo behind, the SETCHI U.S. Navy satellites have been picking up massive ships coming into our solar system since 2000. One of the ships.
Yeah, I see them every day. I have a few of my subscribers that have basically recruited themselves as team members with me, and they're keeping track of different things such as meteors, earthquakes, SOHO, and LASCO. And
now the ships that are coming in,
they're huge.
They're the size of our planet.
Yes, they're massive. And you know
what? And the ancient Zoroastrian religion over in what's now called Iran still has huge wall carvings of them. Okay? They call them the Ahura Mazda. And it matches exactly what the SOHO satellite is picking up. Now, these ships, they've been caught by NASA coming out of warp, a light speed drive. I've got the photographs from SOHO to prove it. These ships have been here helping us for years. NASA has also caught them firing immense beams of energy, hitting things.
Robert, you want to catch a really good laugh?
Sure, go ahead.
The individual that was on here, the little geek from Astronomy Live. I did a video not too long ago, and I think you messaged me on Facebook about it, and that was all of the LASCO and SOHO footage showing all of these large alien spacecraft. Large. Right. I did the video. I put it up there. I don't institute too much of the alien agenda into my videos, but I decided to do this video and show people the proof that is out there on Soho and Lascaux. Astronomy Live debunked the video by saying that these things were ice crystals.
And cosmic rays this, cosmic rays that.
Yeah.
Shaped
like craft.
Right.
And making 90-degree turns at the speed of light. And it's just ice crystals, Scott, right next to the sun. Wouldn't they melt?
But each one of these images that I have and you've been showing, they're perfectly clear. Okay? I've got photographs from the NASA Soho showing what a photograph looks like when it's hit by a cosmic ray or cosmic splash. And it's full of these little white dots. The entire image, you can't see anything in the image. Yet, all of these pictures showing these things are perfectly clear. They're crystal clear. Okay? Plus, the Soho satellite has been cleaned up from 1999 to 2012, taking all the weird glitches off the system. Those things are still being seen today on stuff. Now,
you know, NASA scrubs, they try to scrub a lot of this too. And
they've been doing it for a long time.
They're not very good at it sometimes either, because last week, one of my subscribers that's been viewing Lascaux and Soho caught a photograph of a piece of footage that they kind of screwed up 50% of the way, because they left 50% of the craft in the footage with a perfect vertical line.
And they do it deliberately.
Yeah, and it wasn't a spacecraft going through a time warp. It was NASA scrubbing the footage and not being very good at it.
Or deliberately not being good at it because they know people are watching their stuff, and if they leave it half still there, deliberately or accidentally, it lets you know that they're doing it.
Exactly.
Now, if they're doing it deliberately, leaving part of it there, there's your proof. Because if they had done a complete job, you wouldn't have seen anything. I was following the Soho stuff for a long time. August 23rd of 2013, everything went black. They weren't allowing anyone to go to the Soho real-time data page and see any of the images from Hawaii all the way over to England. And my wife and I were posting the images. They said, "Rob, what happened?" I said, "Well, it says it's offline." You know, they weren't seeing it, so I cut and pasted this thing right there off the web page, and I posted it. And lo and behold, I cut and pasted something I couldn't see. It said that this one program was following everything I was doing, every single keystroke. And they kept everything down for about 8 days. But my friends living over in France, they run off the European Space Agency, which is a partner to NASA. They kept sending me the information of the images they were still seeing on a daily basis of these massive ships coming into and out of our solar system. Now, the other thing that these trolls will say, you know, that you can't see it on two cameras at the same time. That's BS.
Yeah, I've already done that.
In 2012, one camera saw one image. And I went to the other camera. Whoa, it's still there. One camera, and I backtracked back a couple hours before, because they take photographs every 15 minutes, give or take. The image just before, there was nothing on this one camera's image. The next image shows a huge amount of ships going all the way in depth back towards the sun. And here's these two ships that are right close to the sun. The other camera, which is a long range but more of a telefocal type, where it zoomed in, it's got the same two ships. So here's two cameras taking the same image at the same time. And those two images are an exact match for what the other image showed way, way back there next to the sun. The next image, the other one that had all kinds of ships in it, all you see is Tail and Charlie leaving the frame. Interesting with these things. So they posted themselves for the photograph, try to impress someone on our side. Look at all these ships we have. And I have all these photographs. I have over 3,000 that were sent in to me or I found myself going through. On August 23rd, 2013, before they shut it down for me and other people, I had recorded 10 of these massive ships coming and leaving our solar system. 10 of them. Now, the debunkers say, hey, Robert, that's just bullshit. Here, BS, here, B. No. Sorry. They're seen from all around the circle, coming in from every direction, left, right, up, down. So it's not just a little tiny thing from the camera. They're seen zooming in from the left, from the right, up here, down there, here. Completely debunks that they're all garbage images. NASA's own photographs on this one webpage shows you what it looks like if it's hit by a cosmic ray. You can't see a dang thing in that image. It's all clouded up by all these white things. And the images that are showing up with these things in them are crystal clear. So they know. They've known it's going to happen. You know, Eisenhower.
Yeah, they know. We got another question, honey. And I just want to let you guys know that we're going into our 4th hour here pretty soon. The window will shut down, so we're going to have to take this question and kind of shut this show down before it just shuts off on us.
No problem.
No problem.
Okay. Let's take this question. Welcome to the show, Arizona. You have a question.
Yes. You've kind of blown out of the water my idea of what God is.
No, I don't want to do that. Okay? Because I don't want to step on anyone's religion or anyone's idea of what God is. You
have, and I'm very devastated about it.
Well, man, listen, there's nothing to be devastated. There is a God, there is a creator. I mean, who created all of this? Whether it's aliens, human beings, plants, animals, our solar system, there has to be one solemn creator. I'm not a very...
like Laura Cannon, when she was doing past life regression and getting information through these people under hypnosis that ETs were channeling through them, they told her, too, that they believed in a creator they called the ETs call him the one of the light. Well, what does the Bible say that God is the one of the light? So there is a creator.
And if you think about it, if you think about religion itself, and this is one reason why I don't try to step on religious toes in this aspect. But we have many, many different religions worshiping many different gods. But yet, even though there may be all of these gods, there's only going to be one creator. So you don't have to lose your faith based on what we're saying. All we're trying to do is make everyone aware that we are under a threat within our solar system, and our governments are not telling us. And that is not right. The governments are the ones that are playing God. They are playing God, and that's not fair. They should not be the one in charge of our lives, whether we live or die.
Yes.
And
I agree with that.
And God, in His or her own way, is telling these things to do what's happening, is warning people like myself, like Scott, and other people to warn about what's coming. Okay? God works in mysterious and fantastic ways. So God is telling the Anunnaki to show themselves. God is telling us to believe in the blue and red Kachina, where everyone else is saying, no, it's not real. God is showing us and various individuals around the planet these things being seen in our skies. Okay? Where if God wasn't showing us, we would all be ignoring it, watching the local boob tube and the shows they're put there saying this stuff isn't real. Okay?
Oh, I know it's real. I know it's real. I kind of equate it with the end times and prophecy, because prophecy said that it would be the worst times in human history, and I believe this time it's going to even be worse than the last two times.
Well, Revelations and the 6 or something trumpets. The first trumpet blows and wormwood falls from the sky and hits into the oceans. Now, this guy named Ippawar, he said that the destroyer had struck the earth twice before. He didn't say how it struck the earth. He was just going by ancient Egyptian history. His history then said that this had happened several times before. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, if anything, what we're saying, it backs up what God has said in the Holy Bible. Okay?
Right. I can see that. I just, I had an experience. With the Lord Jesus Christ that I can't explain.
Okay.
And I believe He's real. I don't think it's anything to do with aliens or anything like that. It was a totally spiritual experience.
Okay,
so
great.
I believe He's real. And I believe that really the whole survival urge is very strong. I myself am probably not going to survive because I'm crippled. Okay?
Okay.
It's hard.
I'm sorry that I have to go on a show like this to warn people. And I'm quite sure Scott's sorry also that he has to do this thing that normally that normally we would, you know, but we're all given this job to warn as many people as we can. And if God is up there watching over all of us, you're doing a good job. You're doing your job. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, this
That's
whole
what
thing,
I wanted to convey. I want to convey to everybody.
you know,
Get
this
your
whole thing,
spiritual health in order.
this whole thing that what our government's pulling and is going to pull stinks to high heaven and back.
Yeah. Yes, it does. It really, really does, because it's not giving people an opportunity to get right with God. Exactly. It's denying. In fact, they're denying God to the point where people don't even believe He exists. And I know He does.
And they don't care.
Yeah, and this is your opportunity. I tell all of my subscribers that if you don't have any type of faith now, you better get some. Whether you believe in God, whether you believe in God Almighty, well, it doesn't matter. You know, you don't have to be super religious. You don't have to go to church every day, but at least have faith in something. And you know, just because we're discussing this matter here on this radio show, and we're trying to be informative for all of our brothers and sisters of mankind.
Exactly.
And this should not interfere with your belief in God. And yes, I may not live through this. I don't think I'm going to live through it. I may not even live through seeing it happen, because I've chosen to take these steps and open my mouth. And I will continue to bring this word to as many people that will listen. And I hope and I pray that they do listen, because humanity does have to go on. And maybe this is God's way of wiping the earth clean of all of the nastiness.
That's what I think.
Yeah. That's what I think too.
Dolores Cannon said that the ETs told her that there is so much evil on this planet that this is going to be a great cleansing, like a dog shaking its fleas off its back.
Exactly. And it's going to be the Luciferians, the Satanists, the scum of this earth that will be washed away. And we'll put it back together. We've done it before. Our ancestors have done it. And, you know, our children will do it. And what is left of mankind, and we will go on. They're not going to win this war.
And
they're going to go underground and they're going to die there.
The Hopi people say exactly the same thing, that the red Kachina will cleanse the earth of all this whatever.
Evil.
Okay?
Evil.
And if it causes a pole shift as massive as the email from Podesta says, a 90-degree shift, that will put the movie 2012 to shame.
Yeah.
See, this has happened 3 times before in ancient human history, and 3 times there were enough survivors that were able to keep going. That's why we're still here now.
Yeah, some people will survive. I mean, hopefully the information that we've come out here and given to some people will, you know, maybe that's why we were chosen to do this, so that the people that were chosen to survive heard our warning and prepared.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
You know,
but I'm talking to the people that I'm basically want to communicate to the people that might be crippled, might not feel like real hopeful about surviving it. Get your spiritual health in order. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because anyone
and you know
that has...
what? Don't be afraid. The only thing is to be afraid of is fear itself.
Exactly like Roosevelt said. The only thing to fear is fear itself.
You know,
Right.
if you want to take another...
Well, I'm not afraid. I'm just thinking of my family, you know.
Exactly.
Well,
So am
it's a hard pill to swallow. I mean, we all have to be, you know, we have to pull our bootstraps up and go on. The sun will come up again tomorrow.
You know,
and I want to thank you,
Right.
Arizona, and I hate to cut you short, hon, but I do have
No,
to shut.
I understand. It's getting late.
Okay, well, thank
you
you
take
for your
care.
insight. And, you know, she is absolutely right. I think the most important preparation is make sure you get yourself right with God.
And that's what my contact told me to tell everyone, to prepare for a 6-month backpacking trip. Because all roads will be down, bridges will be destroyed. If you don't have a horse, you're going to be hoofing it. You're going to be walking from one point to the other.
You know, listening...
Funny, when you started out, Robert, you said, if you don't have a 4-wheel drive truck or a motorcycle, I got both. Yee-haw!
Yeah, listen, guys, I wanted to just add something here very quickly. This scumbag troll, Astronomy Live, is using this lady's call-in as his fuel to the reasoning why they do what they do, is because, you know, we are causing this stress in these people. Well, here's the bottom line. You know, when I first started into this, I did have a fear. I had a fear of what would happen to me because I was going to voice my words. I had a fear of what's going to happen. But I guess somewhere along the line, I grabbed that faith. I don't pray every day. I don't go to church. But what I do have faith in, I have faith in myself, and I have faith that everything's going to be okay. And what burns my ass is that there are people like this woman. You know, she said that she's crippled. There are people all over this world that cannot defend themselves against any of this.
That's right.
But if given a chance, maybe we together, banded together, could help these people. But we need time. And they're not going to give us that damn time. And that's my point. My channel's not super scientific. My channel on YouTube is about let's be prepared. Let's open your eyes. I want you to see what's happening. We need time. If I had to give my life for any one of these people to help them or save them, I would in a heartbeat.
And you know what, Scott?
I realize that there's a...
It might just be for one last chance to call somebody that you haven't talked to for years, or that somebody that you're mad at, that you can't make up with, and, you know, gives you this chance to find that person and tell them you love them and you're sorry.
Exactly. I may even make up with some of these trolls that have made my life miserable. I doubt that. I doubt that very highly. But you know, there is a chance. I'm a human being. I have a big heart. You know, I'm very passionate about what I'm doing right now. I've always been passionate about everything that I've done. And this is something that I'm going to go to my grave doing. I already know it. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm ready to rock and roll, man. I'm ready to rock and roll with 2 fists of fury, just like I tell them all the time. If it takes my life, it takes my life. But I know for a fact that I'll go to a better place. I feel like I've always been there and back. So it will just be another reunion.
Well, just like S77 said, it's not a picnic for us. I don't make one dime off of doing this show, but I go through a lot of hell because I do it.
Same here, my friend. I don't make anything off all my stuff.
You know,
and
so
I've lost so much stuff
out
computers.
Here sacrificing our lives and being tortured and abused for what?
Exactly.
And there aren't too many of us out there. You know, me.
But there are enough.
Yeah.
There are enough which are passing on either the Word of God or whatever you want to call it. You know, someone is contacting all of us, telling us do this, do that, do this, get up on Facebook, do this, get all these photographs, find all these ancient records which hardly anyone knows about or even talks about. You know, my contact led me to a whole bunch of stuff I would never have been able to know about. I'm not a college professor. I haven't even gone to college. I'm the average person, you know, but suddenly all this stuff was put in front of me, told to do this, do that.
And there are those out there that were out there doing what we were doing that have disappeared, like Chris Potter. Maybe he got tired of having his life be hell from being harassed.
That's right.
You know, maybe he said, "Oh, enough's enough, and there's not much time left, so I'm just gonna shut down my window and live my last few months of my life." You know.
A lot of my friends have said a lot of my friends have said the same thing. They're just hunkering down when the wave comes in or the earthquake hits. They're just going, God, take me now. I don't want to be a survivor.
Well, you know, I thought about canning my work too, but you know what? Someone keeps telling me I got to keep on keeping on, so I will. I'll be out here till I take my last breath.
Same here.
My wife hasn't liked the fact that we had to fix, repair each laptop, put new hard drives in them. I mean, you know, after the last show I was with a couple months ago with you, my new laptop, the hard drive was told to lock up. Okay?
Yeah, I lost my hard drive just before you lost yours.
Yeah.
You know, and people have to understand, you know, we're not rich people. We barely get by with on our incomes, and this is money out of our pocket that we got to go out and fix these computers to be out here to do the work that we're doing, to tell you what we're telling you. So why are we doing this? Not for fame and fortune, that's for sure. We're doing it because it's our way of contributing to humanity.
That's right. Scott does the same thing with his videos. I do the same thing on a daily basis, putting this stuff up, finding all the other photographs, putting them up left and right, showing it from Egypt, showing it from here, from there, from there, from here. You know, something else. But we're still here.
Yeah,
Maybe
we are. Okay, you guys, we got 10 minutes and this window will shut down. Any last comments? We'll let you go first, Robert. You got 5 minutes, and then we'll give Scott 5 minutes.
Please listen to us and get prepared. Get prepared as if you see these things in your skies, which most of you don't because of the chemtrails, the white chemtrails or the black chemtrails at nighttime. You're not meant to see these things. They don't want you to panic. Neither do I. I want you to get prepared as fast as you can. Backpack, solar power chargers with USB ports in them. Buy the adapters which have all the charging jacks and almost everything from an iPad all the way down to a laptop. These chargers will keep your things powered up. You have to have emergency food, dry food, MREs, whatever. You're going to have some type of thing for protection. I'm not even going to cover what I think you should have. You think of it yourself. You're going to need a backpack. You're going to need a sleeping bag. You're going to need a tent of some type to keep the rain and stuff off your head. You're going to have a good pair of hiking boots, nice socks, That way you can walk for miles and miles and miles, no problem. You're going to have to get out and do this stuff. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's the powers that be, they know what's coming down. This leaked email from WikiLeaks details it very well as to what this one person knows that sent it to John Podesta. This Donald Smaltz. Having to fence who he is or why he had Hillary Rodham Clinton's personal email. But they know it. I've known for years that the powers that be were preparing for this. You can go to my webpage and look at some of the images that are caught by the SOHO satellite of these huge ships. StarshipsAroundTheSun.com. StarshipsAroundTheSun.com. And then I'm on Facebook under Robert H. Evans, Jr. If you're on Facebook, click on the friend. I'll friend you, no problem. Okay, Scott, your turn.
Well, I just want to say this. You can take all of the information, listen to all of the radio broadcasts. You can look at all the pictures, look at all the videos. You make the decisions for yourself. You start paying attention to what's going on in the world governments, not just the United States, but if you're in other countries, start paying attention to what they're doing. Because if you're seeing your own governments in a preparation mode, a defense mode, that's telling you something. Start looking up into the sky, start taking some photographs, get in touch with me or Robert or one of the other reputable channels, and they're going to have fun with me using the word reputable. Mm-hmm. But I try to have as much one-on-one with the people that view my channel. I try to answer every single email personally. So we're trying to provide the information. We're not trying to scare you. We're not fear-mongering. But there's nothing happy about this situation. It is a fearful situation. But, you know, nobody goes after NASA whenever NASA says, oh, we have a mile-wide asteroid coming very close to Earth in the next 24 hours, and they announce it. Is that fear-mongering? It misses Earth by 50,000 miles. That's fear-mongering. But they're alerting everyone to the possibilities of an impact. We just had a very close call the other day, and they spotted this asteroid, I think, less than 24 hours before it passed by. So I didn't choose this type of work, research, whatever you want to call it. Now it's a passion. I hate the fact that these elite are playing God with all of our lives. They should not be given that power. No one should be given that power. And I'll go down fighting with every last breath I have. And like I tell them, you better come at me with everything you have. I'm not a weak individual. And neither are the people on this radio show tonight. Robert, BADBABY, we're not weak individuals. We have a backbone. And that's why you're listening to us right now.
I just want to say one thing. I haven't been reading the chat, and for those in the chat that think that was me that was crying, that was a guest that I unmuted. They were writing in the chat for me to get a grip and all this. That was, I'm not afraid. That was not me crying. That was one of the guests that I unmuted. So, because your buddy there, astronomer guy, was saying that I'm afraid and that I'm in touch with my fear and all this crap.
Well,
You've talked to me for a long time, Scott. Do I ever sound afraid?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, you know, over the years and from what you've told me, you know, I mean, you've been battered a hell of a lot worse than any of us.
No, that was Arizona, and she got a little bit emotional, but that was not me that was crying. So for all of you that were telling me it's going to be all right, hon, you address that to Arizona, not me.
You know, but I think all in all, with you know what we had to say to her, I think she went away with some better foresight of what's what's impending. Yeah, I mean, we're not all going to live. You know, like I said, it hurts me very badly to know that people that cannot defend themselves and children are going to have to live through this.
Yeah.
And the governments are not going to do a damn thing. Poor innocent kids, children, the future of this planet.
You're not the only one, Scott.
That's sickening, yeah.
You're not the only one that's worried about this. My wife is sickened sometimes when I have to keep trying to tell her, you know, you have to wake up. Humanity can be the best thing around, but on the other hand, we can be the most vicious of all species living off each other. Okay? And that's what the governments have an idea of what's going to happen, and they're not going to care.
Arizona has raised her hand. Let's see what comments she has to make. We're going to have to make it quick, though, Arizona. Yes, dear.
I just want to say, you know, I wasn't crying for myself. I was crying for all the people out there who don't know God, who don't know, you know,
understood very clearly, yeah.
Whole thing. The answer to the whole thing is to be spiritually minded.
Right.
I was crying for the lost. Those people out there who don't know what it is to be strong in God. I'm strong in God. I'm concerned about my father, my mom, my brother, my sister.
Yeah, we all are concerned for our families. And, you know, and I watch my friends on Facebook every day show their new grandbabies that were just born. And I think to myself, and these people that probably don't know anything about Nubaru, and I think to myself, they're clueless, you know, and what kind of future. But, you know, you can't save everybody. Okay, honey, I'm going to mute you back, and we're going to let Scott finish his closing statement.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just want everybody to go away with, you know, start looking into things for yourself. You know, you can get supplemental information, you know, from me, from Robert, from Steve Olson on his channel, which is a fantastic channel, and you could add to it. I believe everyone on this earth is smart. We're all intelligent. We're still living. If you're breathing, walking, you can see, hey, you can do some investigation. We'll help you along. You know, the government is going to do everything they can to stop us, but there's going to come a point where they cannot do that any longer. The cloaking devices, the chemtrailing, all of this is going to come to an end. So don't get caught with your pants down. You know, get the bottled water, get the medical supplies, get the canned food. Hey, preparation has never been a bad thing, but they don't want you to prepare. This is their chance at a global depopulation, and that's a fact. So if you want to be part of that depopulation, just sit back and don't prepare. If you have the fight for life and you want to live, stand up and fight with us. If not, sit down. Take a back seat to your government. Thank you.
And I want to thank you both for coming on tonight. We will be doing more shows on this subject. Like I said, next week I got David Mead coming out here. And then the week after, I think I'm going to have Scott and WSO come back on.